Hi, people. How are you? Ooh. So I don't know if I could position this. I know actually I can. Um, we're about to get personal. We're about to get personal. I mean, we're already there, right? I've been vlogging every day for the last week, not even really recognizing the complete energy, feeling it, but not really becoming conscious of like what exactly is happening. So I'm gonna prop myself up. I'm gonna cover myself up. I'm gonna use my mobile device for my um use my mobile device for lighting because my ring light is in the office space, and that red light is great for me, but it ain't great for the aesthetics of this show, right? So I'm gonna get creative and update you guys. Can you see me? Okay, you can see me. I don't know how I feel about this angle. Yeah, this hair. I've been saying I want to cut it, right? Today was actually the first day that I played in it. Because it has a character. It has a character of its own. But today, as you see, like, there's been breakage. Some of them are thick, some of them are thin. Um, but I think that because of the growth, like I did this last I was trying to get my pillow, but I guess I'll do it like it's not the camera that got the pillow jacked up. Hold up. Let me get this together. It's how the camera is positioned. But this is the best way for me to position the camera right now. Keep myself covered. And you know. But I want to show the pillow, but it's a positive. I literally like purposely switched the pillow. So I guess I'm just gonna hold the phone. Or maybe put the phone. Oh no. Well, it is Halloween. So I guess I could put the camera under my chin. It was uh it was a late day in October. No one knew what the day would hold, but it held mystery and suspense. Okay, let me stop. I think I could put it, I want to put it, if I can put it on these stars. My thighs is what's holding up the goddamn on tablet. I'm recording on my tablet. I'm just gonna leave it like this. This what y'all gonna get. Um, yeah, this what y'all gonna get. I'm gonna hold the phone and talk. So it is Saturday night. We are fully engulfed in full moon, which they call the hunter's moon of this particular time. I'm not an astrologist, so let me put that out there. I'm not an astrologist, but astrology is one of the things that calls to me. So it's possible that I may become one day, when I really have everything in order and have the time to really put towards that study, because that is a science and a study of its own. But do I like oh my god, observatories? Yes. Would I love to like stare at the stars and know the positions and know the different names? Yes. And when I say it calls to me because I come across content and it explains what's happening through people who actually are astrologists. And I'd be like, oh, well, that explains a lot. And then I share with other people because some people are just not aware of the connections that are these are connections that are. So when you know it, you can make choices and navigate on purpose the choices and the decisions that you make. Now, intuitively, you may do that anyway, which is what happened during this time for me, where this lunar eclipse, it came so quick. We had two this month, and this one came so freaking quick. Okay. And it was an intuitive motion for me, this this lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is actually in Taurus, which I gotta smile for, because I'm a Taurus. I gotta smile for being a Taurus, and it's Taurus energy, I gotta do that. So by Friday, so everything again, as I said, in the middle of this week, my revolution is being televised. I don't know who's gonna help. I don't know who's gonna encourage, but somebody, you know what I mean? So anyway, as my revolution is being televised, see, I sleep wild. Look at my daggone sheet coming off the bed. But anyway, whatever. Um, so anyway, oh, Friday, intuitively, as I get like this impulse, and mind you, I got in late. I want to say I got in late Thursday, or at least I stayed up late. I think I stayed up late posting my content. Um, I'm not doing any editing, like, so the bits and pieces that you get, they're not even really. They're just all natural. You know what I mean? Because I don't even have any editing. I might have some editing software, but if I do, I don't really know how to even work it. So anyway, I didn't go to bed till late Thursday night, but something was like, oh, I know why I went to bed late Thursday night. I know why. So something that I haven't really discussed, but I'm gonna discuss it, and I'm gonna do my best. I didn't even plan on discussing it, but I'm gonna do my best to discuss it from a non-judgmental of a particular culture, because I don't want to do that. I don't want to culturally profile or racial profile, okay? But I have to address the business practices and just the ethics of a people that's a part of a group. And it doesn't seem to be an isolated incident, because I have experienced it within the last, let's see, what's this, 2023? Within the last 10 years, at least two times. And it has been very impactful. Hold on, my arm get a little tired. Are we good right there? We still got a little bit of light. You can kind of see me, It's so much more comfortable. Should I even put my legs down? But maybe I could put my legs back up, and that will help. Let me see. Yeah, if I put it like that, it looks weird. I have equipment, but the equipment is packed. Anyway, I thought like that would be too, like, if it was just in the dark, it would be not good. But I'm gonna get comfortable. And the light ain't really giving me comfort right now. It's bright as fuck. So I'm gonna share with you guys, and you just gonna get me raw, okay? Like y'all always do. Sometimes you might see me polished, but most of the time you get me raw. So if you following my content, you must like it. Yeah, baby, you like it raw. Yeah, baby, you like it raw. All right. Um. So, and you're probably doing something. I mean, the point of having videos to see. This is not really a podcast. Maybe I could put this over here and get it off of my lap, and then like, I got y'all. Just give me a second. I'm gonna get back to these individuals that I'm trying my best to be politically correct about. Oh, yeah, the light is not doing it for me. Really, it's not. But we're gonna make it work. Because I could put the light right there, and then I could just kind of turn. Yeah. Trying to get comfortable. Trying to have both, right? Get comfortable and also um, make sure I'm taking you guys to accountability too, you know? If this was just a regular podcast, then yeah, you're just gonna hear my voice. But the fact that this is a video, then you need to like see something, right? It's half a face, okay. Like this looks great, right? But I'm like literally, maybe if I move up, let me just move up. Okay, let's hit an angle every 2 seconds. I promise you, I'm praying that a titty doesn't pop out. Although y'all might be praying that a titty do pop out. Then I can't upload it though. So titty's gonna stay inside. Ugh. Alright. Okay. I like this. This works. Don't get really my mouth, but you see it. Okay. Alright. So yeah. So these individuals, I can only speak from my experience. I can't speak on their whole culture. Okay. I have studied bits and pieces of their culture. I've made it a conscious decision to do so. You know, if you just if you look through my emails, you would see that. And not only have I made it a conscious decision to study their culture, but I have made it a conscious decision at certain points to even provide donations. Because see, my perspective to different organizations that are a part of their culture. And here's my reasoning why. Diplomacy is something that I stand for. Universalism is something that I stand for. Love, peace, justice, truth. These are things that I stand for. So how can I expect to receive that and I'm not giving it? You know what I'm saying? So I give it and it comes back to me. You know, now I may not come back in the particular individuals that I interact with, but I guarantee it does come back. What you put out there comes back, right? So, my first interaction with these individuals was in the heart of the gentrification that was happening in Brooklyn, New York. You know, if you lived in Brooklyn, New York, you've seen it, you know, and it was a lot of emotional release, a lot of our people just taking um, handouts, you know, taking handouts because they were like, well, I'm gonna make sure we okay, but really not doing what was the best for the people, right? I just found people. Look at my locks. I just had to share it. I don't know if you can even see it. I gotta put a contrast in my hand. This is why I was thinking about cutting them, because look at this. But I know they could be reattached. Look at that. So I don't think I'm gonna. Anyway, focus, right? So you have a complex mind, right? Super intelligence. It's like a computer. It's doing multiple things at once. But okay, so yes, I came into interaction with these people in the heart of gentrification in Brooklyn. That's where I was at the time, you know. And when I say my revolution is being televised, it's because in the heart of me, on top of the inner vigilant inside of me, is also a revolutionist, you know. And it wasn't like I was raised, you know, by people like that, so to speak. But I feel like the culture, you know, and my spirit has just called for that, you know, and so it is what it is. So I say that to say that I had put together before I came in contact with this particular group of people, and I don't even know if I'm going to say like acknowledge their name, but I'm going to describe the events and you connect the dots, you know what I'm saying? um I'm going to describe my interaction with them, my observations, and what's currently happening. The last I heard, I don't watch the news, you know, so I might not be current on the global events, but I do know that there's been some discrepancies over in the Middle East. But again, I'm going to start with my experience, my observations, the current events, and then I'm going to continue to update you with me, what's going on with me personally. So, and why I was up Thursday. That's how I got down this rabbit hole, right? So, I got involved, I had some knowledge, I'm very young though. I was like early 30s. So, you know, very young. But I had this knowledge and I wanted to apply this knowledge, and I had tried to join with people in the different, I want to say, thought groups. Of course, they would not identify as a thought group. They identify as a religious organization, which I think that is the political correction of it. Although they started out as a civics organization, um, they and this was back in the early 1900s by revolutionaries, revolutionaries that were close friends with Marcus Garvey, who was the other brother? It was three of them. It was three brothers who were very close friends: Marcus Garvey, Noble Drew Ali, and there was another one. I think the other one who started FOI. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Don't quote me. Anyway. Okay. The point is they wanted to make things better, and they worked diligently at that. Okay, and they were very dynamic in their time, and they formed these organizations. But just like with any organization, although their spirit and they created it, as it continues, other individuals are involved. So anyway, I'm involved with with the religious organization that evolved from the civics organization that Noble Drew Ali created. It's called the Moorish Science Temple. All right. And my interactions with them was purely a divine intervention, just having the type of spirit that I have and having the bloodline that I have. I was guided. I feel I can definitively say that I was guided ancestrally to connect with that organization, and divinely guided, because it is a key component in part of what I'm on the planet to do. Okay. So anyway, I acquired a lot of knowledge, and the reason why I say it like the way I'm saying it is because of how the interaction happened. I was already volunteering in my community when in Brooklyn, when I became even aware of this organization. I was volunteering. I had met with one of the revolutionaries in Brooklyn, Lamont Ali, who I want to say was a partner to Sonny Carson. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. And the reason why I'm looking like that, because there's a brother now named Billy Carson, and I wonder if they're related in any type of way. That would be interesting, right? Because Billy Carson is like levels and levels and levels, metaphysics and emerald tablets, like he up there. So I got to do some research to see if they are related, because I'm just recognizing the correlation of their last names. So anyway, Lamont Ali, he's the leader of, and he's an elder now, but he was the leader of an organization called Committee to Honor Black Heroes. And they had an office in Restoration Plaza, and I was up there frequent because and again, I'm very young. Um, but I was up there frequently because it was a thing for me. It was something I'm passionate about helping people, and I want to be with people that want to help people and that are helping people, you know. Um, so anyway, that's how I was introduced to the Moorish Science Temple. I met a good brother. He introduced me to them, and when I came in there, I remember the very first time that I walked. They used to have classes at the National Black Theater. Barbara Tear, another revolutionary sister, who had the opportunity to go to Hollywood and made a choice not to go to Hollywood, but to stay in Harlem and create her own theater in Harlem, which they have torn down, and I really don't appreciate it. They call themselves rebuilding. Built they shouldn't have torn down what she built. But I guess they gon' they doing whatever they feel they want to do. And when I say they, I'm talking about her children and whoever they're working with, because of course money is a factor in this. And from what I've seen, they're building a high rise, but they're gonna have her theater at the bottom. Whatever. Whatever. Like it was enough room to not tear down her theater. And I gotta just say how I feel. There was enough room to not tear down Barbara's theater and still create a high rise. You could have created a high rise somewhere else. You could create a high rise on a portion. You have to tear down. And I know there was structural things that needed to be addressed, and maybe that you didn't have the finance to do that, but if you really would have put it out there, that should have been a historic site. Like how y'all saved the Apollo, but y'all don't save Barbara's thing. Anyway, that's how I feel about that. I felt the way about it, but it is several reasons why I feel away. First of all, just because of what Barbara chose to do. It's almost like, oh, you're going to say you're still carrying her legacy, but are you really carrying Barbara's legacy? Oh, because you're carrying her name, that's you carrying her legacy? Her legacy was not about money. Her legacy was about the arts. That's what her legacy was about. So we'll see. We'll see, because I've approached these individuals. I've sent correspondence to her children. I physically went down to the historic preservation in City Hall of Manhattan to petition them to create that into a historic site. But again, how the politics work here in this country, numbers mean things. So that's why when people are gathered together protesting, they get attention because they feel like that's a squeaky wheel. The squeaky wheel is what gets the attention. One person, it doesn't matter how impactful, how true the one person's words are, the way people are conditioning their minds, the people that's sitting in the positions that where they can do something, or at least propel the individual or if that's how it works. Because I had the same circumstance with the culture that I'm going to speak about soon. When I first came into their injustice and their acts of crime, basically against people, against human beings. And when I brought it to the attention of the Attorney General at the time, who was Eric Snyder for New York State, they already had people that was part of their culture that was working inside of the Attorney General's office. And yes, they had to take the report, and yes, they did record the report, but this man's specific words to me was, we can't do nothing about it unless other people say something. That was his specific words. So that right there told me, and it's the same response I got from the Historic Preservation Department. And hopefully I'm saying but there's a Historic Preservation Department in City Hall in Manhattan. And because Barbara Teer's theater was situated in Harlem, which Harlem is on Manhattan Island, I went there, okay? And basically they send me a letter. They're like, okay, we acknowledge receipt of your letter and your research. And because I put together like her history, everything, and presented it to them like, this is why you should preserve this place. But it has to be groups of people that want to stand and say that. Me coming down there as one person, yeah, nah. You understand? And the thing is that we have the numbers, we have the people, but a lot of our people are so fucking distracted. They're either distracted, unhealed trauma, addiction. Like there's so many different factors of why our people are not moving the way we used to move. Okay? I feel like, and it was purposely done like that. It was strategically done like that because they saw how quickly we move in Martin Luther King days and Marcus Garvey days, when we didn't have those factors. We didn't have the distractions. We didn't have the substances in our communities that would unplug us from the issues so that we wouldn't see the issues that were prevalent, so that we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't have those things back then. and they saw how we got together and how powerful we was, and so they was like, oh hell no. They killed the leaders, and they fucking poisoned the people, and the people are still fucking, because we still evolve, we're still powerful, we're still who we are, but a lot of us are not aware of who we are, and then they have those things, they have those different poisons, the distractions, the fucking addictions, the substances, they have all of that stuff, the damage to the family structures, all of that stuff is now in the mix that was not in the mix back in Marcus Garvey Day, back in Martin Luther King's day. Those things were not in the mix. So when we got together, it was more impactful. Now we get together, and yeah, it impacts, but is it an impact that's moving us forward? It's controversial, right? So anyway, with that being said, that's how I feel, and that's the truth. If you really look at it, that's the truth of the matter. So anyway, when I stepped into Barbara Tia's theater, which is where they was having the classes at for the MSTA. Well, they didn't even call it MSTA there. This they called it Moorish, uh, Moorish Circle. Oh my God, Moorish. They call it something else, but it's based on Moorish science, right? If you're not familiar with Moorish science, Moors are the individuals, the indigenous people who civilized, you know, they're a group of people that civilized basically humanity. That's the short version of it. They civilized England, they civilized over here. They were, the top of the race, basically, Again, you connect the dots. You do your research. So, anyway, nonetheless, I remember coming into the class, right? I did not have I didn't have a lot of finance at that time. I don't think I had any. Maybe very little. But I remember one of the sisters, who was a part of that particular sector, because they have broken up into sectors, which is again another tactic of separation. I don't. But anyway, that sister, her name is Roz Maria, and she had a whole bunch of publications, and she works with another very very impactful brother. And anyway, she had a whole bunch of publications, and I remember they had vendors set up around the meetings, right? And I remember coming to her table and her gifting me this material, just gifting it to me. Now, this was material she was selling, okay? And she gifted to me this material, parliamentary, things that they used to teach in school, as far as how the structure of government operates and how to properly operate as a private person, as a natural person within a government that's supposed to be protecting you and serving you, that a lot of us are not even aware of how it's supposed to be. Like, intuitively we know, but mentally they've taken civics out of the school. You don't get civics until you like choose to study it in college, where it used to be something that was elementary, something that was in junior high school, secondary school, something that was in high school, just like home economics and things of that sort. I don't know what they're doing with the educational system. That's a whole nother topic that I ain't gonna get into, because I don't have any small children that's in the educational system, so I'm just, I can only tell you the experience that I did have, and I ain't gonna go too far into it. It all needs improvement, and I'm gonna leave it like that. So there's room and opportunity for all great minds to be at work doing something fucking great. Like, the opportunity is there. Find something and do something. That's it. Okay? And stop being so fucking distracted. And stop trying to pacify what's in your spirit, and just do it. Just go forward bit by bit. You don't gotta make a drastic thing overnight, but your action, your repeated action in the right direction is making a difference. You may see it, you may not see it, but it is making a difference. Okay? So anyway, She gave me all of this information, publications. However, and this is why I know why a lot of things have been at standstill with all of the knowledge that's out there. I was in deep grief at the time. I was in deep grief at the time. I was battling. What you call it? Was I battling at the time? I want to say because I battled three major strongholds in New York City, and I won. But I was right at the beginning of that battle. You know, I guess you could say their judicial system, but the judicial system is all like they have all of these different departments, and a lot of them are not even constitutional. And if they were designed to be constitutional, they're not doing constitutional practices. They're doing color of law practices, and they are coming like they're violating people's human rights and people's rights, period. So I was going through that battle, and it was a tedious battle because not only did they just view me as property because that's how they view black people anyway, in America, some people, not all, but you know that they do. You know that we're still recovering from slavery, and now you have mental slavery, and now we have these different titles, and now we have all of this shit that shouldn't even be there. If you abolish something, then where the hell did all this other shit come from? Where did it come from? You didn't abolish it. You just polished the shit. What the fuck they did? They didn't abolish slavery. They polished slavery. Big difference, okay? It's a big fucking difference. So anyway, um, yeah, I was dealing with one of their pseudo courts, and again, they really thought that they had ownership of me, not just because of my complexion, but because of the fact that I grew up. They were like part of my parental, I don't know, guidance for a period of time. I literally was identified before I became an adult as a ward of the state. And the reason why I was identified as that is because my natural parents were not fucking there. And so I ended up going through foster care, and it was like, oh, we own you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You really own. Like, you ain't just owned by title of being black or African American, but you is owned because where your folks at? Like, they ain't here. We gave you food. We put a roof over your head. We your parents. That's the attitude where you really, look at it from proper perspectives. That's the attitude. How dare you? How dare you want to be liberated? How dare you? Oh shit. Like, not even how dare I. How could you? How could you reconnect when we put in so much effort to disconnect? And it's like, yeah, you can't disconnect spirit. Only way you can disconnect spirit is if somebody allows you to, or give their permission to do so, which I never did. And gratefully, because I never did that, my ancestors, they guided me. I didn't research that place. All I knew was that I wanted to help. And so I started helping. And yes, they were crooked motherfuckers, because they really didn't give a real fuck about the community. They were doing the bare minimum. They gave more fucks about keeping their dick wets, and that's the reality of it, okay? But that didn't really faze me. I was young, I was ignorant, and I felt like I don't give a fuck what they're doing with their dicks because it's none of my fucking business. I was looking at the good. I was looking at the fact that they had programs for the children. The children had places to go to do something positive. I was looking at the fact they had pantries. I was looking at the fact that they were building stuff. It wasn't until they invited me because they wanted me to be part of their 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 dips, I guess. I was one of the wells they wanted to dip their dick in, and they knew they couldn't come directly at me or at me anyway. that you would come typically, with just things, because you can see just by my character that I'm not moved by shit like that. You understand? Because when I was volunteering, I wasn't asking for nothing. I was just happy to be a part of something that was a part of something bigger than me. That I was just happy with that. So it wasn't, what can you tell me? I'm not asking for shit. So you can't be like, oh, let me buy you a pocketbook or let me do this for you. It's like, oh no, she really give a fuck. I gotta come from a sideway angle with this big booty. Fuck you. He never, but this brother definitely came. He never, but he came. He tried. He tried. He tried. He definitely tried. But anyway, I know it seems like I'm all over, but it's all fucking connected. So that's what was going on with me when I became involved. And that's how I know, I, even though I had the knowledge, I really was not at the point at that time. And that was over 15, let's see, 2000 and, that was 2010. We had 2013. That was like 12. No, we're in 2013. 2023. Um, well, I'm counting while I'm talking. So that was about 13 years ago. That was about 13 years ago. And so I have obviously grown, and I obviously have healed, and I obviously have studied, and I obviously have grown and had different experiences and victories and yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But this basically just speaks on my experience. So I had the information, but I could not really effectively use the information, which is why there's so much knowledge out there, but you don't see things really moving as rapidly as they could be, because you have all of those other factors in there. You have the brokenness of the families. You have the distractions through the music, through the, I don't even know what to call this culture, but rap culture is what came to my mind. You have the rap culture is heavily fucking distracting, okay? Then you have this quote unquote fashion, but really it's a way to fucking bleed you economically and just like suck your fucking energy. It's really vampiric, okay? Because everything is fucking overpriced as fuck. Like it don't cost that much. You know what I'm saying? Overpriced is shit. So instead of people focusing their energies to fixing shit and getting shit better, they focused on how they can look a certain way and prove a certain point and yada 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 blah blah blah, and their energy is going into generating something that's already coming from within them. You're trying to generate money so that you can look away, but really, like, you already fucking wealthy. I ain't gonna go deep. I'm gonna say that and keep on going. So anyway, um, so I had the knowledge, but I wasn't emotionally healed when I received it to properly apply it. Simple. This is simple. So yes, there's a lot of people with a lot of knowledge, but until they emotionally heal and heal from the trauma and deal with those things, you cannot apply it. You just have it, and you're gonna want to do stupid shit with it. Okay, your passions is gonna go through towards stupid stuff that's really not effective. And that's unfortunately where a lot of us are, but we're getting better. Okay, we're getting better because people are talking about it. Thank God they have removed the stigma from mental health. Thank God, because health is health. Mental health is important, physical health is important, spiritual health is important. Those three things right there are the top important things. They're more important than how the fuck you are. I mean, although physical health will impact how you look and how you feel, but those three things are better than having the latest fucking Jordans and buying $3 weaves and shit and putting eyelashes on your motherfucking eyes and all of that. Nothing wrong with eyelashes. Now I ain't saying nothing wrong with them, but the amount of energy that people put into superficial shit is disappropriated. Like, it's okay. It's okay to put energy into physical shit, but what's your priority? That shouldn't be the most important thing. That shouldn't be where all your energy is going. And then on the inside, you just feeling like shit because you ain't doing nothing to make shit go forward. Of course, nothing's gonna change until people are doing shit to make differences. Okay, so that's the good thing though, because I actually was just coming back to New York from PA when I ran into those different experiences. And so we now, we now, Eric Snyder is no longer the Attorney General, baby. Baby, baby. Now it is Tish. And when I tell you that's one powerful, impactful black woman right there, that melanated woman right there, she is she is I love her. She's fucking brilliant. I don't know her personally, but I feel like I would be if I had grown up in a household like she grew up in, if I had that type of support in my life from a child, then yeah, I'd definitely be in politics like that, like doing the same exact thing, if not different or better. I love her. I love her. She knows her shit. She knows civics. She knows the law. She's the Attorney General of the state. Of the state. Okay? She's the one that is litigating against silly Trump. She's the one that's holding these motherfuckers accountable. She got them all by their necks and their balls, and they can't touch her because she is so fucking like, first of all, ancestrally she's protected, so they can't even bribe or do any of that shit because the ancestors are gonna fuck up anything they would ever try to do. Not only that, the motherfuckers that's surrounding her, that's protecting her, like, I love them. I love what they're doing over there in New York. It's a process. Give us time. Give us time. Not only is my revolution being televised, but watch that bitch get better. Watch that shit get better. It look crazy now, but you see motherfuckers that visionaries can see. They know what that shit is heading for. That's why they building on there and they doing all that shit, because that shit is rapidly changing for the better. It's just when things are changing, it's gonna look chaotic. And there's so many moving parts to to anything, to any government, any modern society. There's so many moving parts, and all of the moving parts need to be moving in conjunction and healthy, even though they may have different functions. So, the leadership is what's going to trickle down to everything else. So I'm so happy that they have the leadership of the state in order. I'm so happy that they have a good mayor. Eric, man, that's another amazing person, another amazing brother, okay? He's been working his ass off for the last 40 fucking years. It's like I said, it's not an overnight process, but you got to do something. You do your part and you encourage other people to do their part, you're going to see differences, right? So anyway, that's how I became involved and got into some of the knowledge. So now let's fast forward back, even though we're still in the past a bit. Let's fast forward from my first initial meeting of this particular organization and becoming involved with this organization. And I'm not going to go into all details, but I can say one thing. Coming in new, so to speak, and making movements and then coming back and sharing with them the movements that I was making, and then other people following the movements, is some deep, heavy shit. Like, I was intuitively, I'm gonna be very brief here. I was intuitively led to basically publish my correction a certain way. And I shared how I published my correction. When I say correction, it's correction to status, because as I said, I was viewed as property, and I had to correct that. I had to let them know, listen, I ain't your property, okay? And it wasn't about me just saying it. It was about me being it and putting it in writing. Putting it in writing and putting it on public record. I just want you to know. And I try to know I'm not your property. Okay. And after I did that, I shared that. And after I shared what I did, oh, I hope they flooded. They flooded Kings County court letting them know that they were motherfucking not property. And guess how the court responded to that flood? Oh, we're going to change the rules so that you can no longer, we're not going to accept that. I don't understand. And you know what? That was back in 2010, 11, 12. That was back then. Like, okay, how you go tell people that you're not accepting that they want to be free and that they're doing it in a civilized way? Because there's uncivilized ways of doing it. If you see my last post, that motherfucker that was sitting outside of that motherfucking welfare office with a garbage bag of weed in Brooklyn, right on the same block as the NYPD, not giving a fuck. That was kind of an uncivilized way, okay? It was like, I am who I am, and you can't say shit about it, okay? But they rather see us in that type of position than in an educated position making an impact. They like, oh well, he's just, fuck it. Yeah, we know who he is, but we got him where we want to have him at. He right there. He ain't trying to elevate nobody. He just trying to medicate. And there's nothing wrong with weed now. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Every now and then I'll smoke a blunt. But that can't be ruling. You can't let anything that's going to distract you rule you. And sometimes the way my brain works, I do got to slow the bitch down. Okay. But sometimes I just can't. I ain't supposed to. Like, I gotta let that bitch function at her optimal best. So anyway, that's what the court decided to do. They decided to change the rules and said, we don't want to accept your documents. It don't matter whether you fucking accept the document or not. Once the word is written, once the word is spoken, it is what it is. Motherfuckers, you don't gotta accept it, but you can't change it. You could just try to trick somebody into changing the words that they already put out there. But once the word is out there, once the word is spoken, it is what it is. It ain't no changing it whether you accept it or not. It is what it is. You don't have to accept it, but you can't change it. You could only try to trick the motherfucker who made the decision. And that's the fuck what they doing right now with my goddamn passport. And you know how I feel about the passport? They could kick bricks with their fucking passport. Because I'm about to go a whole nother fucking lane with they ass. And I'm still gonna practice diplomacy. You ain't gonna change me because you wanna be ignorant and stupid. I'm patient, bitch. I'm very patient. I'm gonna go a whole nother lane with the shit. Watch me. Watch me still go wherever the fuck I want to motherfucking go. I'm still gonna get on planes, bitches. You too capitalistic to restrict any fucking body. You too capitalistic. So it really don't cost nothing but a buck. Silly rabbit. So you want to ignore my diplomacy? Like it's gonna change who the fuck we don't want to accept it. You don't have to fucking accept it. It's already is. And they ask me the same stupid ass questions. The passport, I gotta just say this. They just send me another stupid ass letter in the fucking mail talking about we gotta see an affidavit of your name change. If you don't sit your honky ass the fuck down some motherfucking where, bitch, it's been 9 years. It's done. It's done. It's been over 9 years. It's done, okay? You cannot do nothing about it. You don't want to accept a certified document from your courts, y'all. Oh. I got you, bitches. I got you. I got you. I got you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. Ain't not. It's too late. Just hang it up. Hang up the bullshit and like shift your mind. Like get out of fear. They scared. I get it. They scared. Like these Europeans are scared out of their fucking minds for what is inevitable. It's inevitable for the natural people to fucking come into who the fuck they is. And it's not enough distractions. You can't create something because guess what? We just get stronger and smarter. We just evolve past the shit, okay? And we keep fucking making babies who come in smarter and stronger. So while you think that your little distractions is keeping us down, is we just getting smarter and stronger, baby. So it makes sense for you to work with us. It's the natural thing, okay? You see my other vlogs and my other uploads. We all a part of nature. Just accept it. Accept who you are in nature. Don't try to be who you not. One analogy that I love is, and I'm gonna get back to my points, but one analogy I love is the cat and the lion. I feel like that should be. I might write a children's book about it if somebody don't trust me. I'm gonna put that out there. I am gonna write a children's book about it, but you heard it here first, out of my mouth. Okay, the cat and the fucking lion. What are the similarities? They're both felines, right? They're both created equally. Let me tell you how that fucking term, created equally, fucks people up who ain't that smart. Okay, created equally doesn't mean that you're equal. A cat and a lion are both created equal. What does that mean? Let me break it down to you. To get a kitten, a male cat has to fuck a female cat. And then the female cat gets pregnant with kittens and she has litters. That's how it happens. That's how the creation process happens, okay? Now, with a motherfucking lion, a male lion fucks a female lion. The female lion gets pregnant with little lions in her belly, and then she gives birth to little cubs. That's the creation process. Is it equal? Yes. The male fucks the female has the baby. That's the equality. Okay? Now, what's the difference? The difference is clearly we can see this with our two eyes. Okay? That a cat is inferior naturally. Doesn't mean that they're unimportant. Doesn't mean that they're less than. It just means they're inferior. A cat is not as strong as a lion. Okay? A cat's prey is not the same prey as a lion. You will not see a cat chasing a deer. You wouldn't see a cat chasing a zebra. That's what the lion eats. Okay? The cat chases a rat or a mouse or a bird. Do you see the scalability here? So let's apply that to humanity. Let's apply that to humanity. This is not equal to this. Put it together. It's not equal. Is it created equal? Yes, it's a hand, it's a hand. It's created equal. It's part of a limb. It's part of my arm. It's an extension. Okay? There's clearly humans that are superior to other humans, and it ain't the ones that's trying to act like they is. Because all of their actions are based on fear, control, and manipulation. And they are that way because of their natural inferiority. And it's okay. See, when I say inferior, that doesn't mean that you less than. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve love. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to have your basic needs. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means accept what it is. Because I have never yet seen on a National Geographic a motherfucking cat trying to fight a lion or trying to eat what a lion is eating. I just haven't. The cat is like, hey, I'm happy being a motherfucking cat. Yeah. Okay? And the lion is just being a fucking lion. It's unnatural as shit that that some of these Europeans is doing, okay? It's just unnatural. And I don't even know what to call them Europeans because that's a whole nother controversial subject that I ain't even going to get into because I haven't studied that deep into it. But the original people of the fucking planet were superior. The inferior parts of the human race came from different things, a lot of different factors. But it is what it is. They're here. I'm not even going to identify them as a nation. I'm going to identify them as inferior. And I want to make it very clear that when I say inferior, I'm not saying less than. Okay? I want to make sure that that's clear. A cat is not less than a lion. It's just inferior. Two different things. Okay? They both deserve to have food. They both deserve to procreate. They both deserve to have happy, healthy lives. But a cat's happiness and health is not based on subjugating a motherfucking lion. So, therefore, if an inferior part of the human race happiness is based on the oppression of the superior parts of the race, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Fix that shit. Okay? Go get you some proper counseling. Don't do this fake ass counseling, okay? Sit your ass outside. Don't sit out there too long now, because the sun is gonna burn your skin. But just go outside. Just be still. Just meditate. Just look around. Look how the ecosystem naturally works by itself without the manipulation of man. Okay? Just recognize you are part of that flow. It's okay. Be you. Be you and stop trying to not be you. That's really what the whole problem is. Okay? That's the whole problem. It's not complicated. These motherfuckers that's in the wrong positions, trying to stay in those positions and using all type of shit to try to do it. Okay? So let's get back to me coming into interaction with these people. So I came into interaction with them, and I know, like, it's like once I recognize, I'm like, ooh, I wanted to let everybody else know. We got the knowledge, we got the numbers, we are in possession. Let's strategize. You know what I'm saying? So I started off really, really humble. Let's form a tenant association, okay? I'm the youngest. I'm the youngest. People is in their mid 60s and 50s, and it's 3 black families. I was the fourth, so 4 black families, and well, Aaron was black too, but so 4 black American families, um, and 1 Jamaican guy, and 2 Latinos. That was the makeup of the tenant association and of that particular property, right? So Latinos, it was kind of strange, because they were different Latinos. One was a Puerto Rican and one was a Mexican. Subcategories. The Mexican was in there longest, right? At this particular property. And so, he was like the super and shit like that. And he just basically did whatever the fuck he was told. So he wasn't coming to the meetings. The Spanish dude was a recovered addict who now was a Cashapp worker. Cashapp is a substance abuse counselor in New York. But I think he still has skin in the game of addiction. I think he just managed it better. I don't think he ever like healed from it, which is another thing. And being sober is not healing from your addiction, okay? Healing from your addiction is getting to the core of the problem and fixing that so that you're not looking for a way to escape whatever trauma, hurt that got you to using, you know? But anyway, being sober is not healing. Being sober is just having your mind conditioned that you're not going to pick up. Okay? But that doesn't mean that you've healed from the trauma. And if you haven't actually healed from the trauma, you will make other poor choices and decisions. And so he made a poor choice and decision. He would come to the tenant association meetings. So this is how I was doing it. We got to deal with going forward. So we need to have a strategy and plan of how we going to secure our homes, right? We need to deal with the problems here. One of the major problems is that we didn't have no gas meters. Okay? We didn't have no gas meters. How we going to do that? So, all right, I got an idea. Let me put together a company, which is a community organization, and let me do the footwork so that, we could get these gas meters. Success. Okay? It wasn't a quick success, okay? It wasn't. I produced an allodial title. An allodial title is a superior uh, claim. It's a superior claim. Just the way like the government does what do they do it when they take people's shit? Eminent domain. Allodial title is above eminent domain from what I've gathered, okay? So and it's pen and paper. The pen is mightier than the sword. It's a true story, okay? It's a true fact. It ain't even a story, it's a fact. The pen is mightier. That's why they stopped allowing, not even stopped allowing, that's why they stopped accepting. They stopped accepting written documents in a court. What court stopped accepting written documents? What? Kings County. Kings County. That's the one. That's the one. That is the one. So anyway, um, so I did that, right? And I filed it. And again, this is straight ancestral because even the notary that I was led to go to, and she's probably retired now, but she wasn't even a regular notary. She was a commissioner of deeds. The notary was a commission of deeds. That's who signed my allodial title. My allodial, yeah. That's who signed it. Okay? So again, person in a position, an acknowledged position of authority and power. Stamped it. So after I did that, I filed it. And after I filed it, it's filed. You can't say it ain't there. So anytime I get a copy, here's a certified copy. Not only does it have her, it has Nancy Sunshine. Nancy Sunshine is the I don't know what her title is, but she has a title of authority at the court itself. Okay. So boom. That was produced to the energy company. The energy company then gave me a contract and they put the meters in there and voila, motherfuckers, we're not freezing in the winter no more. We got fucking heat. So it's not like, oh, she's just, if you don't get it, it's okay if you don't get it, but get at least the big fucking picture. You don't got to get all the details. And that's what I learned because I was giving them all the details. Okay, so we're going to acquire this and we're going to fix it. And that's what we're doing. All right? Y'all on board? They was like, yes. Okay, this is how we doing. Here's the information. I'm going to need y'all to study. I can't do the studying for you. I'm going to need y'all to know because we got to be ready. But they was not ready. This guy came on deck. He saw it. And I wouldn't say that he came brand new, but because they have a whole, like, this shit is so deep. It's deep. So deep. So deep. Okay? So deep that 5 years later, I come across these same bitch ass motherfuckers and doing the same bitch ass shit. Being naturally inferior, trying to act like they superior. That's what they doing. Ain't no way around it. Naturally inferior. We can't sit out in the sun. That's why you got them damn black hats and black coats and shit. Because the sun will burn you if you sit your ass out there. That's why they twist up their hair to look like how my hair grows out of my motherfucking scalp. What are you doing? Okay? And I said I wasn't going to name the culture, but you're going to figure it out. You're going to figure it out with the context clues, okay? I don't even know if you can see what I just did with this hair. But if you see motherfuckers twisting their hairs, wearing long black coats, and these big ass black hats, and they over in the Middle East acting a motherfucking muck, you know the people I'm talking about. And again, I don't want to culturally come against their culture, but they are they are insane. They're insane. They insane. They insane. The only thing they have accomplished to do was to study the capitalism over here in America and to capitalize off the capitalism in America. That's the only fucking successful thing they have done. But outside of that, they are utterly, actually, factually insane. Okay, it is insane to be dropping bombs on motherfucking children, people. It's insanity. There's no way. There's no way. It's insane to be trying to force people from a part of the fucking planet, a planet that yes, you are a part of, but you are an inferior. You are naturally inferior on here. That's like a motherfucking cat coming to the jungle trying to take over the lion's jungle. Do you know what the cats got to do that? The cats, it got to, first of all, they got to be a whole bunch of them. So those cats got to do a whole bunch of fucking, right? They got to make a whole bunch of cats, right? Then the cats got to be like, listen, we got to poison the lion because that bitch is strong as a motherfucker. So let's poison the lion and trick the lion. Give the lion a little bit of comfort so the lion think that it's still being in its natural habitat, but really we gonna be trying to take over the jungle. And that's really what the fuck is happening with the inferior human parts of the human race and the superior parts. That's what they do. That's a simple breakdown of that shit right there. That's the fuck they doing. What are y'all motherfuckers doing? Okay, so anyway, that I came into interaction with that particular culture there, and they after I had gathered the people together and we're meeting, and like I told you, it was three American black families, one Jamaican guy, and two Spanish dudes. This when that inferior motherfucker came on deck, he came with some money. He came with some money, and guess who took the money? The Puerto Rican guy took the money. The Mexican took the money. The Jamaican guy took the money. And all the people that was left was me, the youngest person there, and the other three families. Okay, and really the three families is actually two because two are older sisters. Okay, but they were grouped up together. The older sisters grouped up together, and one of the sisters, they both have children, but one of the sisters' children stay with her, and she had a baby at the time. Now she got like four babies. Okay, it's just too much. It's too much in one place of a railroad 2-bedroom apartment. That's how big it was. Okay, that's how big it is. Okay, so anyway, they stayed there. They held down they're still holding down the fort. That part I appreciate. But the part that I don't appreciate and that I didn't appreciate is that when that inferior man decided that he was gonna come for me, when he decided he was gonna come for me and he was gonna use crooked ass court systems to come for me, that they just watched. They just watched them. They just watched that motherfucker come for me. And I was like, wait a minute. We was having tenant associating meetings in my living room. You motherfuckers to this day, y'all got heat because I did footwork for that. So you gonna watch the motherfucker just come for me? But then that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole, if there's more to it than that. The more to it is that they heavily in the fucking church. Okay, heavily in the church. And of course, the church, I don't know whether some of the people in the church just don't know better. I don't know whether they have motherfucking agreements with these motherfuckers because I saw the same type of reaction. There's a church here. I'm gonna get to the now because the now is what made my fucking Thursday long as hell. And as you can see, I've already been talking for a whole hour, but my Thursday was very long because I was very just not really satisfied that these motherfuckers are like moving like this. These inferior motherfuckers are moving like this, and the superior motherfuckers are like we gotta wake the fuck up. We just gotta wake up. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna fast forward and I'm gonna rewind. So I approach. There's a church where I'm at right now, and they have acquired quite a few properties, and I felt like they may have had an opportunity to acquire this property. It don't matter. Listen, whatever I'm doing, it is to help and be beneficial. I'm not, yes, I put that allodial title. Did I create any leases? No, what's the first thing I did? The first thing, and you might be like, well, maybe you should have. Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have. But that's not what I did. I went and got gas meters. And before I could, and I think I actually did. But by the time I did create the first set of leases, that motherfucker was coming for me. Okay. And he came in all different directions. They did a secret. First of all, I don't know nothing about criminal law. Okay. The law that I know about is civics and very minimal right there. I ain't gonna act like I'm a lawyer because I'm not a lawyer. But the most law that I know the most about is natural, just natural motherfucking law. There's a law and order to nature. That's what I know. Okay. Now this other man shit that's all fucking got these different words that mean different shit and all of that shit just to confuse motherfuckers. If it ain't in alignment with nature, I could care less about the bitch. And that's what I think attracts me to the Constitution, because the Constitution is in alignment with nature. But people have created these other fucking shits and rules and words that ain't in alignment to nature. But because it sounds similar, you wouldn't know unless you fucking aware. You understand? So anyway, I don't know shit about criminal law, okay? Now, because of my revolutionary actions, I unfortunately have had some experiences in the past, you know, and they tried to that's one of the tactics that motherfucker used. They did a secret indictment. I don't even know what a regular indictment is, let alone a fucking secret indictment. But they did a secret indictment because I just, in my ignorance, I aligned with the wrong motherfuckers. I let my karaoke buddy introduce me to a sister who claimed, oh, I work with these people. They not as bad as you think. This how you gotta do it. You gotta produce a deed. Man, why you tell me to produce a deed? And I didn't know because I was young and she was older than me and she was a black lady. And she's not here with us no more. And when I got the message that she wasn't here with us no more, I had nothing to say. Because of her advice, I made a decision that ended up with that shit, with them capitalizing. That's all it is. They capitalists. They inferior and they capitalize, okay? But I learned. And that's why I was like, Not only did I learn from that experience with her, okay, and her misguidance, I recognize that probably the people that's holding down the fort there, they probably misguided too, because they probably took the information that I shared with them instead of them trying to understand it. And that's the thing with information. If you get information and you get knowledge before you communicate it to somebody else, you should try to understand it. And I get that maybe trying to understand something, you may communicate it to somebody who you may put on a pedestal, but that person, no matter what title they have, might not get it neither. And they might dismiss it instead of actually doing research and seeing about it. Okay? And that's what I feel happened. I feel they was going to their church and their church was like, oh, she's one of those Moor people. Oh, she's a Moor. No, nah, nah, leave her alone. Leave her alone. And that's what they did. They left me the fuck alone. Um, and they're there. They're there. I'm not there. I had to go through a lengthy process. Of course, everything was cleared. Not only was it cleared, they sealed the bitch. The bitch asses sealed it. They put me through the ringer for a whole fucking year. They took all my shit. They did a lot of shit. They did a lot of shit. Okay? They did a lot of shit. And I had to basically start from scratch, which is a process. I started back again from scratch and minding my business and creating a business. And boom, the whole fucking world shuts the fuck down. And I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna keep fucking going, okay? I already was making the plans to open this bitch, so I'm gonna keep fucking going. And that's what I did. I kept going. Now, maybe that was not the wisest thing to do. Maybe I should have paused while the world paused. But I said, fuck the world. I'm gonna keep fucking going, and I don't regret keep going. I opened up my company, my an additional company. I opened right in the middle of the pandemic. I opened that bitch right in the middle of the pandemic, and that bitch is profitable. It's gonna take some time, cause I am suing the motherfucker that I fucking rented the space from. We had a 4-year lease. It's the pandemic, which means they had a what you call it? What I don't even know. They had a law in place that businesses, the people who own the commercial spaces, could not, in this particular state, they could not close the business down because they fell behind rent because of the pandemic. They had to be patient until the shit was over. But his ass was not patient. He was another inferior part of the race, and he had this sense of entitlement. And listen, I when I tell you that I know and I am that I am, and I be it. And I'm not loud about it. I'm not loud about it. I'm not loud about it at all. I'm not all in their faces like I'm superior to you. I don't gotta be loud. Like, do you think a lion has to growl at a cat for a cat to realize that it's a lion? Nah. A lion does not have to growl at a cat for a cat to realize the lion is a lion. The lion just has to know it's a lion. It could just stand there. It could stand there and lick its paw. And the motherfucking cat will see, oh, that bitch, that motherfucking lion know it's a lion. It's gonna move different. And that's how they move with me. That's how they move with me. That's how they move with me. But that motherfucker felt the way, you understand, and I guess he thought he could be like meow and ruffle my feathers. He started cursing and all type of stuff in my cafe, and I was like, "Sir, you cannot use that profanity here." And he ran out of that cafe, beat red, and put in his mind that she don't know she a lion. She don't know. She don't know. And now he done tripped his ass up in court. And I'm just waiting for my fucking money. Which, the longer it takes, the more it's going to be. So, I really don't give a fuck. When it comes, it's going to come. So, anyway, let's go back. Let's go back to my first interaction with these other inferior parts of the human race. And again, let me make it clear. Inferior does not mean less important. It just is an accurate description of their biochemical makeup. Okay, that's just it. A cat is a cat, a lion is a lion. They're both felines, an inferior part of the human race and a superior part of the human race. We're both humans. So we both still should, and not even should, we both do have natural human rights. So because I am properly identifying parts of our human race does not mean I'm saying they don't have the right to procreate, be happy, live healthy lives. I'm not saying that. But what they're doing is not healthy. It is not natural. Okay? It is a fear-based activity. And we gonna fix it. We gonna fix it. You see, they need instructions, and we gonna provide the instructions for them so they can start working on themselves and get their minds together so they can stop making the choices that they're making, because it doesn't help. It doesn't help them, and it doesn't help anybody. It just creates more stuff to support their fear. And not only does it create more stuff to support their fear, it propagates fear. And hello, it's 2023. We see what fear has done to societies and to nations, and we would be quite retarded to keep doing the same shit. I'm gonna say retarded. Okay, we'd be quite retarded as human kind humanity to do the same shit. So we gotta stop it. But we can't just stop it abruptly. Okay? We have to explain why. Why are we not going to use fear as a reason to take action? Well, because we've done it for centuries and it has not produced lasting results. Okay? So let's try love. Let's try, instead of using fear, instead of promoting fear, instead of propagating fear and trickery and all of that other stuff, let's use love. Let's use order. Let's heal. Let's get better so that we can be better and we can all have better. You don't have to be afraid. We listen, the superior parts of the human race, we don't want the shit you got, and if we did, we got it already. Okay? We got it. We got our Tyler Perrys. We got our fucking Oprah Winfrey's. We living in mansions. We got our Steve Harveys. We living in mansions. We got private jets. Every physical thing that the inferior parts of the human race have, we have it. Okay? We have it. We have it already. Okay? So therefore, stop thinking we want what the fuck you got, because we don't. We don't. What Bill Gates, we don't want your shit. We don't want that shit. We simply this is simply want to be unabused, unoppressed, unfucking bothered, unmurdered. You know, we just want what's naturally ours. We don't want your shit. We are the most brilliant minds. You would not even be on the out of the planet. You wouldn't even be off this planet. Okay, who's that guy? Um, Bezos? I don't know. I don't know all any names. Okay, but you know it's motherfuckers that's doing intergalactical whatever, or at least prepping for that. Nigga, you got NASA. Let's go back to NASA because we gonna start there. NASA. Nobody would have even made it to the moon if there was not a superior individual working for NASA to work out the equations. Okay, I don't know the sister's name, but it was a sister. It wasn't even a man. It was a sister. Okay, so let's stop. Let's stop it. Let's just stop it. Stop the insanity, because insanity is doing the same thing, expecting different results. Why are you going to still propagate fear? Why are you going to still try to oppress people? Why are you still going to come up with these things that you think is clever, which it ain't really clever? Okay, it seemed clever. It looked like it worked for a bit, but have you really had a conversation with somebody that you thought you poisoned? Now they may be all over the goddamn on place and a little unfocused, but I don't think your poison worked, okay? Because not only is they still moving and functioning, they moving a little bit too quickly. Like too quickly for their own motherfucking good, okay? That's really what my observations have been, okay? And I've had conversations with them, and like they can get how just my brain naturally works without any enhancements. So your poison ain't working. It's not working. It looks like it is because they look like they're going around in circles, but in reality, they kind of is going around in circles, but still, they still more advanced than your ass. They still more smarter than your ass. So it ain't working. You just doing this shit. It ain't working, and you keep improving the shits. Like my son, um, overcame addiction, and man, what do you see? Like, yo, when the inferior people, I believe, created it for their own escape. But then somebody capitalized and said, you know what? We could use this to trick these motherfuckers to not even wanting to be their natural selves, right? Let's use it. So somehow it got from the fucking middle class, inferior communities into the hood. And then it was like I don't know, the biggest secret in the hood, because it was classified to be something that the inferior race used, not that the superior race. Like the superior race was like, nah, because they seen what it did to the inferior race. It fucked them up, right? They be fucked up, but they do have it as a quote unquote party drug. What the fuck is a party drug? A drug is a drug. But what they consider to be a party drug is when motherfuckers is hanging out and they at the club and they like, should we just hanging out? So it's that drug that migrated from the inferior community and made it over to the superior community. That party drug has manipulated the mindsets, but again, it has not poisoned them. Changed? Yes. Some boys don't want to be boys. Okay. And some girls don't want to be girls. And there's a whole society that promotes that. And honestly, I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I am just for nature. And I think, and I don't want to get too far off because I know I've been kind of, going forward, going backwards. But when it comes to the LGBT community, um, I think the reason why they are most successful is because of the principle. So, yes, there might be plenty of people being manipulative and doing unnatural things within that particular community. And unnatural does not mean wrong or be negative, okay? Just natural is natural. Natural is just something that's really not manipulated, okay? That's the best way I could describe natural and nature. It just is what it is, right? But back to that culture. The reason why that culture is very successful because they have a core principle. Do you know what that core principle is? It's not fair. I tell you that. The core principle of that culture is love. And that is why they are successful, because they are applying the principle of love. And with love, even the unnatural is successful because love is in the mix. And love is the most powerful thing on the planet. And that's another reason to support why we should do things from that principle instead of the principle of fear. That is one of the that is the true power. That is the true power is in the love. The true power is in the heart. And that is just not a theory. That is a scientific proven fact. Your heart generates so much motherfucking electricity. Yeah, yeah. If you watch my channel, maybe you are interested in the stuff I'm talking about. But these are the things we need to know and apply. Okay? So now back to these inferior people. Again, for clarity, inferior does not mean less than. Inferior is just their natural biochemical makeup, and as many enhancements as they attempt to do, it's an attempt. It's just experimentation at this point, which is why they ultimately, those who are really got, just accept the fact that it is what it is. They're like, well, it is what it is. I'm just gonna live my best life, and I'm gonna live from these higher principles. And they do much better. They live more happier, more healthier, more wholesome lives. And they're like, well, I would like a little bit superiority. So, you know, if I'm being sarcastic, if I get what see, cat can't fuck a lion, but if a cat could fuck a lion and make a cub, it would. And Furious is like, hey, you know, my wife, is superior. Then, my children are superior, and that works for me. That works. That works for me. Oh God, I humor myself and laugh on a daily basis. So yes, so Thursday was very long because these inferior individuals who are in the Middle East doing silly stuff are over here doing silly stuff, capitalizing off of the capitalism here in America, and waving the mighty dollar to start to do things. But again, that pen is mightier, so they their days are numbered. Okay, and I once I came into a similar situation, I approached it differently. I was feeling the impulse. It was like, keep us. That was like the building. That's me describing the building. Keep us. And I'm just like, is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to be beneficial? And I believe it could be, but see, there were terminologies, and they could be same applicable here. They very could be applicable here. Um, of course, the latitude and longitude would be different. The wording might be the same. It's a very gray area that I just have to, I guess, meditate more on and see if that's really, because I did do other things to, you know, um, just basically call attention to the injustices that these people are doing. You know what I mean? Because they're all out of order. And because some of us don't know that these courts are not real courts of law, they're not court. Landlord tenant court is not a real court of law. It's a contract court, okay? You got to have a fucking contract to even, you should have a contract before they even accept the case. Why are you accepting cases in your court that's based on contract and there's no contract between the people? So a lease is a contract. If there's not a lease, then there's no fucking contract. Then why does the court even accept the case? That should be the first thing. You got a lease with this person? Is there a lease agreement? Was there ever a lease agreement? Oh, there was never a lease agreement? Oh, we can't accept this case. You got an issue? Take it up. Take it up. Go take it to district court. We're not accepting that case here. But you know why they accept it there? Because they pay the filing fee. And because it's a contract court, it is based on commerce. It's based on business. So they get that fee and they're like, oh, you gonna pay us? We take your money. We take your money. We got you. Now, if they was really smart, they would just take the money and dismiss the case. Well, oh, you got a case? All right, pay the filing fees? Okay, we got it. And then they'll be like, oh, well, we dismiss it. And they'll be like, well, why? This person is, well, because you don't have a contract. But that ain't, maybe that's what they will start doing. I mean, that makes sense. Okay, if you in there for money, okay, take their filing fee. But they probably doing more than paying filing fees. I'm sure of it. So that's another reason why they feel compelled. Oh, you gonna give us, because like they did with the people over in Brooklyn that I, was a part of, these inferior individuals moving and making movements. They fucking, the people, half of the people that was sitting in the living room took buyouts from them. And it wasn't like, and people think that 30 grand is a lot of money. 30 grand is not a lot of money, people. It wasn't a lot of money then. It definitely ain't a lot of money now. That is not a lot of money. How much is, like, no, that's a very little bit. So they put a little bit together, and because you're so used to not having, you think that it's a lot. That shit ain't a lot. I guarantee you that those people that decided to take that little bit of change that they gave them, if they wasn't smart with it, they're in a worse position than the fuck they was. Now the Jamaican dude, he might have been smart because he might have invested it into his business, and if he invested it into his business and he had family that he could stay with, or yada yada yada, maybe that was a smart move for him. But the Mexicans and that goddamn Puerto Rican dude, I can't see them being successful at this point. I mean, not speaking against them, but I just can't, the way their minds work, because they wasn't for what's the word I'm looking for? They wasn't upfront. They were very like secretive and shit. Aaron, that's the name of the Jamaican dude. He was kind of upfront. He was like, "Listen, like I'm all for helping the people, but I'm also gonna do what's best for me, and I respect what you're doing, but like I seen he was an intelligent dude. He's like seeing how these people were moving, and that I can respect better than a motherfucker smiling in my face and then just being on some other shit. Like the Puerto Rican dude, he was on some other shit. Even the Mexicans, I can even gather him because he had a shitload of kids. You understand? But that Puerto Rican dude, no respect. No respect. You know, no respect for him because he had no kids, number one. He already worked at the hospital, number two. So you had basically a secure job, and you had connections to whereas your ass could have had these motherfucking gas meters in here before I came along, but you wasn't thinking about not being cold in the wintertime. You was just happy to be rent free. Like, okay, nigga, fix the shit. Take some ownership in the shit so that you can stay comfortable. But anyway, maybe one of his people hooked him up with a place. So maybe he's like in a subsidized place or whatever. So maybe he is good. And honestly, I hope he is. I don't wish bad on nobody, no matter what. But I'm just expressing how the fuck I feel about it. So fast forward from that situation, I've talked about it and I've released it enough, and I've cut ties from it. Um, I've cut ties from that situation and acquired a lot of wisdom. And the wisdom that I acquired from that situation was that you can sincerely love and want to help and support people, but you must make sure that you are okay and in the proper position to do so, to be effective. And being at the same position does not really properly position you, even if you have more knowledge, unless it's going to be a collective. So it's not, and which was what I attempted there. I attempted that there. That was the whole point of forming the tenant association. That was the whole point of forming the community organization. That was the whole point of that. It was to say, listen, I'm going to take this position, but I need you also to be in position. But they were older than me. They didn't like the fact that I smoked a lot of weed. They didn't, you know what I'm saying? Their mindset was stuck on the church. It was different. And those are factors that put us in a compromising position. So after going through that, after starting over from scratch again, and then in a whole nother state, come across the same motherfuckers, I was like, okay, God, what is it? What the? I think I'm looking for these people. I'm here minding my business, building my stuff up, and then you just what they doing here? You know what I mean? And God is just like, listen, you gotta grow above this. So they're actually there as a catalyst to encourage your growth. But continue to know and be you and watch the unfoldment of that. So you're gonna still go through emotions because you're human. You're still going to feel away, but you cannot act based on emotions. You got to act based on wisdom. You got to act based on experience. You must be you. Oh, so that's why the fuck I was up Thursday, because I was emotional. I was emotional Thursday because I see these inferior people. I see what they're doing. I'm around just a bunch of fucking superior people. And let me make this comment briefly before I stop this show. Um, I attempted to approach the church that's local here, right? And he passed me off to talk to a sister because some men in their minds feel like they're superior to women. That's what they have been programmed. That's what they propagate. I am the head. I am the head. I am the ruler. You listen to me. So what he did was he passed me off to a sister. I'm coming to you to talk about business, okay? There may be an opportunity for you to acquire this property, so do what you can do to acquire it. Put a lien on the bitch. What the fuck? Like, and I'm not talking to them like that. I'm talking to them properly, business like. So I said I want to discuss some business. I gave her my information and everything. She ain't never follow up, okay? He gonna tell me when because I went directly to him. I sat through his whole fiasco, okay, and then I went straight to him at the end of the fiasco. Listen, I have a business thing to talk to you about in regards to where my home is. I think there's an opportunity for you to acquire this building, okay. And he's like, oh, no, 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 we don't discuss business on a Sunday. I gotta clap my motherfucking hand for this one right here. You don't discuss business on a Sunday, but you take money on a Sunday? I'm gonna need you to make it make sense to me. Because money, transaction is business. It's business. It's business, okay? It's business. You're doing business. When you finish taking these people money, you're gonna count it, you're gonna put it in your books, and possibly deposit it at an ATM or whatever. The point is, you are doing business. You are definitely doing business on a Sunday, sir. So why are you telling me you don't do business on a Sunday? But you want to look at me cockeyed because I recognize your bullshit. Okay, because that's what he did the other day. I seen him, and again, I don't have no judgment. Listen, do what works, but that don't mean don't be open to more possibilities. If I was in the position, I got this whole organization, and I got a couple of properties, and I'm really there to help the people for the people. And this sister comes and I don't care if she's younger, okay, but she tells me she has a business. I know I'm doing business, but maybe he don't even realize he's doing business. He may think that he's doing the Lord's work. Nigga, if you taking money, you doing business. This is bottom line. If you are fucking having money transactions, it's business, baby. It's business. So again, I think that might be what it is. His heart might really be in the right place. He just might not know better. And with that, I gotta be compassionate for him. But at first, I was like, oh hell no. Because I spoke to him just out of respect and courtesy, and he said some slick shit underneath his mouth. And I had a good mind to snap my head back and look at him like, what the fuck you just said, nigga? And I said no, because I'm working on, not responding emotionally. I'm across the fucking street. They already feel a way about me. I don't need to listen. I'm here for love. I am not here for fair. I did not put that fear there, okay? But people fear the unknown, and that is because their ego is trying to hold on to the known. You understand? So I get it. So that's why I didn't snap my head back, because then he would have been like, how the fuck that bitch hear me from all the way over there? So I didn't snap my head back. I just kept walking. But it bothered me. It bothered me to a point where I made a fucking video talking about it, expressing myself. And I was just like, yeah, that ain't cool. Like, it's okay to say you don't know something. I don't care what position you in. I don't care if you're the president of the United fucking States of America. If you don't know something, say the fuck you don't know it. Don't pass judgment on somebody because you don't know something. You're in a position of authority. You're supposed to be trying to acquire as much knowledge as possible, motherfucker. Not being stuck. Not letting your ego get in the mix. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. Um, that was his reaction when I proposed it to him. So it was like, okay, listen, I ain't doing nothing by my goddamn own self. Yeah, well, I'm not sticking my neck out there again. Like I stuck my neck out there in Brooklyn. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. Not doing that. That's not what I'm doing, okay? So, yes, I feel away. Yes, I wish it would have been better. I even like had a conversation with the young lady, but again, we have this pseudo shit where I'm the man, I'm the head. Well, if you're the man and you the head, why does this circumstance even fucking exist? You know how this shit works. And if you don't have the knowledge to go above this shit, then position your motherfucking woman so she don't gotta go through this shit. Like, what the fuck? You know how this shit works. You know that this is a fucking capitalistic fucking country. You know they're a whole bunch of capitalists. So what the fuck? Why does the motherfucker even have her in court? What's going on? You the provider, right? Legally, lawfully, you are the fucking provider. So what's going on? Why is she in this position? Why? Why? So you want to tell her when she's talking to me? Because we were talking for a good amount of motherfucking time. We was talking. I was like, listen, I'm all the way with, um, as they say, the shits. And the shits is not the bottom. The shits is just like what's right. I'm with what's right, but I'm not gonna do this shit by myself. So do you want to know? You want to discuss strategy? We could discuss strategy and we could work the strategy because it's more. We first of all, we already in possession of the shit. Second of all, yeah, they got some numbers, but they numbers ain't set up how we set up over here. So actually, we in a good position right now. But we gotta move with strategy, not emotion. Like her dude is like, oh man, I'm so mad. I'll just destroy the shit. No, nigga, don't destroy this shit right here. Why would you destroy the shit? No, no, no. That's your emotions. You upset. You entitled to be upset because you know these motherfuckers is wrong. But after you get past your fucking emotions, where is the strategy? Oh, it's not there because you fucking distracted. Oh, what the fuck? And then you want to look at me cockeyed because I ain't distracted. Now, do I do similar shit? Yeah, I watch social media. I'm a whole content creator at this point. Like, I'm about to make a living out of this bitch amongst other shit, amongst my other business aspects and prospects. But I'm truly focused and aware of what the fuck is going on. And again, we are in a good position. But once you remove yourself from that position out of fear or whatever like that, and you don't want to take accountability because really my position in the circumstance, yes, it's based off of capitalism, but it's also like if I'm gonna put it just how it is. If I was paying these inferior people, they wouldn't be fucking with me right now. They wouldn't be fucking with me. This is bottom line. They wouldn't be trying to fuck with me. They're not fucking with me. They wouldn't be trying because they were reaching out to me. And not only were they reaching out to me, they women was reaching out to me. Okay, the women was reaching out to me because they probably was like, yo, we think that's the same lady from Brooklyn. And it was like the women was like, if that's the same lady from Brooklyn, you need to negotiate with that bitch and not fuck with her because whatever you tried, it didn't work. And if it didn't work, then it ain't gonna work now. The niggas probably was like, they not really niggas, but this is the men of the inferior race. This is just my take on their conversation with the wives. Okay, the wives try to give them wisdom, like let us reach out to her, let us call her, let us talk to her, ma'am. Can you give something because my husband he wants something. I get it. We want you to stay there. This is their yo. I have the emails and well, I didn't record the conversations, but I have the emails. I have the emails from them when they were reaching out to me. Now they feel away because I'm very, I want to say business. I ain't gonna say business wise. I am who I am, and I know who I am. And again, I don't have to be loud to be who I am. So once I found out where their office was, I went in the bitch. I went in the bitch. Approached a few of them respectfully, business wise. This is business. Okay, this is not nothing personal. This is business. And after I approached them and they looked at me and acted like they didn't know what the fuck I was talking about. Oh, we never heard of that company. You never heard of the company? But this company is listed as being here at this address. That's the address they put on their court documents, but you ain't never heard of them? We ain't never heard of them. They had a little kitchen area. I went right in their motherfucking kitchen and made me a cup of coffee and walked out of that bitch and left it like that. And then the motherfucker who I walked into suite 206, that motherfucker, I was like, listen, I already know what it is. So listen, are we gonna do business or not? And they're like, we're not gonna answer. We want to move you. You want to move me? I ain't moving no goddamn where. The fuck you think this is, mother? What? Listen. This is how business works. Okay, there is a transaction, right? That's how business works. Business is not you are only profiting and the person that the exchange is between doesn't have nothing. It doesn't profit me to do business with you and move. That's not profitable to me. That's an inconvenience. Okay? If I'm moving, I'm not giving you nothing. I'm not going to give you this money, even though the money ain't mine. It's the federal government's money, but it's on behalf of me, so I'm going to claim it to be mine. Okay? That money, I'm not going to give it to you and inconvenience myself. What kind of part of stupid do you think I am? What part? So if I'm moving, if I'm deciding to do that, I'm going to do it on the best motherfucking terms that's going to work for me. And I'm still going to feel the way I feel. And I'm not going to do any business with you. It's as simple as that. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's commerce. You're wrong. You're inferior and you're wrong. But really, until more people who are superior recognize that and are willing to check you strategically, well, then it is what it is. Because I'm going to always check them motherfuckers. I'm going to check them. I'm going to check them. I'm going to check them. And I ain't going to be loud about it. I'm going to check you correctly. What I got to get loud and irate and get emotional about? Listen, this is business and you are inferior. I don't got to tell you that. Like we see that when we look at each other. We know that I could sit outside longer in the sun, longer than your ass could sit outside in the sun. That's why your ass is wearing those big ass hats to protect yourself from the sun. We see my hair naturally grows out of my head, 9 ethers curly, and yours is at 6 ethers, and you twirl it around and you do all of these fucking rituals and shit trying to appease the spiritual realm. And because you're physical and you know the spiritual realm vibrates at a different frequency, so you try to pretend to be something that you really ain't. Yeah, I get it. I get it, but this business, you can feel how you want to feel towards me. I know who I am, and there's no changing of that. So if you decide not to do business with me, that's your decision. But don't think, yeah, they tried. They were when I so the wives first were calling me. This is before I had um that federal money for Section 8. That's what it is. Okay, Section 8. It just came. I didn't have it before. If I would have, they would have took it because the wives were trying to work with me. But when the wives were trying to work with me, I let the wives know, listen, it's coming. I don't know when, but if you patient, hey, fuck it, it's business. But the men weren't patient. The men weren't patient, and they went down there to that fake ass court, and they did their little fake ass movements. And I went to that motherfucking court, and I checked they bitches too. I ain't gonna call them bitches. This is not the right, proper, politically correct words. But I went there, and I let them know that I am aware of who I am, and I do not agree with their unconstitutional silliness. And their response was, "Hold up, let me get the book." Um, um, um. This I seen this with my eyes. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I literally saw this inferior man who heart seems to be in the right place, right? But I seen him get off of the bench. I watched him get off of the bench, go to his chambers, pull out a book that he had just highlighted over his lunch period when he looked up the rule that he was going to read to justify the bullshit that he was going to do. Well, according to this rule number 3568, I don't know if that's not the real rule number. I can blah 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 blah. So that's all I'm gonna do. Can't help you. I sincerely wish you the best, and I know that you are litigating now, and cause see it, and he's like, oh, you use case law, and you use da 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 da. You had legal argument. They like, how the fuck this bitch got legal argument and she ain't a fucking lawyer? Nah, did she go to law school? What the fuck? How she even? Where she know this shit from? God. And I ain't talking about a man in the sky, okay? I ain't talking about, no, I'm talking about pure divine guidance. That is how I know. That is how I know. That is it. That is it. That is the whole story of my existence, is being divinely guided, guarded, and protected. I was divinely led to that law. Like, literally straight to it from the divine. Like, that's how I know it. So, like, you say, that's your words. And in all of the courts, it says, "In God we trust." So, the same thing that you claim to be trusting in, I don't care what they try to change the acronyms to. Um, the same thing that you trusted in, the same thing that's beating your heart, that's beating my heart, that's the thing that's guiding me. I don't think you should be trying to come against that, because it's continuing to guide me. So I just I, I know your ego. So he eventually corrected himself, eventually, but it was an experience, and I was up Thursday because I had to, not, I wouldn't say physically witness, but I had to see a superior person, even though they knew they were superior, but just, they had to make some tough decisions, and I get it, especially when you have small children. You got to do what you got to do. Like, they are the priority. I don't expect nobody to be revolutionary unless you have a whole team that's on the same page. But when you got team members left, right, out of order, like, what do? You make the right decision for your child. Like, it is what it is. So, but I felt the way because I'm like, they felt the way because they know that that individual is inferior, and they know that that individual is wrong, but they have convinced themselves that there's nothing they can do about it because that's just the way it is. There's always something we can do about things that are out of order. There's always options. There's always solutions. We just have to actually come together and talk about stuff like that. Like, it's okay to get emotional and express your emotions, but then after you do that, what do? You just ignore it? You just accept it? So you know these people wrong. You are naturally angry about it. You naturally emotional about it, and you just accept it. Nah, you don't got no strategy and plan that's going to better yourself, better your children. Your solution is just accept it. I'm not accepting it. I'm not accepting it. And you can look at me sideways, cross-eyed, however you want to, for me not accepting it. I'm not accepting it. I'm not. So, hey, call me different, call me whatever. I am that I am, and I'm working forward. So, I was up to like, I want to say like 2 because I had content to create. I'm in the middle. This is content right here. And this is maybe like the longest, what you call it. But I have a whole day of content to post, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna stay like maybe 15 more minutes. Um, so because we're in this energy. So the 3 things that came to me through a guru for this particular lunar eclipse and full moon energy is that you have to cut cords. So the process of me sharing certain things is me cutting certain cords of I guess what's the proper word I'm looking for? Uh, the chords of disharmony. That's what I'm cutting. I'm cutting the chords of disharmony. Because the knowledge and the wisdom, for it to be successful, it must harmonize with individuals who have similar passions, um, of making things better. So those are the collaborations, if I must make a word out of it, that I'm looking forward to, and the core, my focus is the biggest part, which is my spirituality, and that is my priority. And everything else is a byproduct of that. And I'm not talking about sitting in somebody's building, I'm talking about actually doing the work for myself to be in that flow, in that divine flow. Because that's how Friday went. I mean, that's how my life has been going, literally. Like, I'm not going to share all of the details of the experience with these inferior people because some of the stuff still has me in awe. And I'm in awe on a daily basis because my ego certainly wants to protect me, as everybody ego does. My ego wants to go with what it knows, and what my ego knows is the experience in Brooklyn. So my ego is like, you gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. Now these motherfuckers gonna move. But I'm like, ego, I get that I may not know, or I may do know how they're gonna move, right? But listen, we are trusting what's bigger. We trust in the unknown. I have to trust the unknown. I have to trust the bigger picture. I have to trust the divinity because I would not be in the position I'm in if the divinity, my ancestors, my angels, my spirit guides, if they were not leading and guiding. So I have to trust that ego, and I know I get it. It's it's new. I get it. I get it. You want to be strong and you want to be protective, and I get it. Man. I I will discuss these details. I will certainly discuss these details because I feel they're going to definitely help someone, but it's not going to be today, and it's not going to be in this space. I'm gonna. Where we at? 2 hours and 3 minutes. All right. So Thursday was a long day. I did a lot. I did my school. I did content. I did homework. I did spiritual work out in nature. I did connecting with individuals and souls up there. I love that area. I really do like that area. So Thursday was long, and then I came into my home, and I had to witness the these inferior individuals seeming like they had got one up. I know they didn't get one up in the long run, in the big picture, but even the seemingly, it was just like, damn, I just wish like everybody was on the same page. If everybody was on the same page, like, it would be a whole different circumstance. But when I start talking about stuff that actually makes sense, motherfuckers be looking at me all cockeyed and shit. So I just keep my mouth shut. I'm like, let me. I feel the same with my son that I gave life to. I'm like, listen, I'm gonna give you the information, son. But if you decide that you want to do what you want to do, son, you an adult, and I'm not gonna worry myself about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm your mother, so I'm gonna tell you the right thing. But if you make whatever choice you make is based on you, and it might hurt my heart, but my heart being hurt is not gonna stop your decisions. So what the fuck, you know? So I was dealing with my own um just emotions behind witnessing these inferior people do they bullshit. But trust me, their days are numbered with doing the bullshit. Like when this shit hit the fan, when they shit hit the fan, it's gonna hit the fan grand. And a lot of people that they feel that they got the one up on are gonna one up their asses. And they ain't gonna have to come at them in an aggressive way. They just gonna one up their ass. They will hit their pockets. Yep. So anyway, I was up late and then I got up early Friday and I left 8 o'clock in the morning Friday. Let me tell you about this energy. This shit is real. And you know how they got these young people programmed saying that they on demon time. Well, guess what? Here's the reprogram of that. How about angel time? How about God time? And that's what I put out my mouth. I'm on God time. And let me tell you, it's not the first time. And I want to say that I'm on God time all the time. Okay. But sometimes it's extra. And this full moon energy, it was extra. Okay. I still had class yesterday. I still, but on top of class, right? I had gotten a message from a sister friend, right? She was like, listen, where you was at before, where I was working at before, she was like, the person that they put in your place, they ain't here no more. Why am I not surprised? And so that's what my other content is about. Because I was like, let me go back and get that position. But here's the thing, again, they're not used to people being articulate about exactly what they want. And they really don't want to work with people like that because they really want robots. They really want a person that's like, I just need $1. Where am I gonna get it from? They want desperation. Listen, I have articulation. I ain't no desperation, baby. I'm gonna be very articulate. I want to work the weekends. I would love that position or something better. And that's it. It's not complicated. Ain't nothing weird about that shit. But it seemed weird because a brother's like, you don't want to work at the shelter? They paying more money there. Listen, I like doing this type of work. I'm not here for the money. You can't pay me enough. I'm here because I like to do it. I like to interact with people. I like it. Plus, it gives me the opportunity to network. Hello, I got my own business. That I need investors. I need to be around like minds. Um, yeah, no, I'm not here for $1. I'm not here. They're not paying enough money. You can't afford my time for real, for real. You can't. They can't afford my motherfucking time. My time is priceless. So if I'm investing my time, yeah, okay, I'll take a little compensation. But trust me, I'm always there for a bigger purpose and reason that has nothing to do with money. Even though networking and making business contacts or even meeting investors seem to be about money, but it's really about making the connections and the relationships. Because for any successful business, you have to have those things in place for the success of your business. So yes, businesses do generate income and they do generate profits, but typically they don't do any of that within the first 5 years. So yeah, no, I'm not. No, my mindset is different, and I ain't gonna change it. It's just only gonna get better. It ain't gonna go backwards. It's only going forward. So I'm gonna say unfortunately, but because I wasn't planning to have a conversation about money, I was just being honest. You know what I mean? And it was in the office. And so they were like, oh, hell no. Even though that's not what they said. They like, who the fuck this bitch thinks she is? She gonna come in here, ask for her old job back. Tell us what she not gonna take. And have a good attitude and be articulate about it. And come in here with that gray ass skirt with that big booty out. We confused here. What the fuck is going? You know what? And she gonna ask to talk to the boss and think she got the right to talk to the boss. Like, I did all of that. I did all of that shit Friday when I got to that fucking office. It didn't really give a fuck about it because I'm like, listen, hey, whatever. Like, I just came because she prompted me to come. You know what I'm saying? Like, if she didn't send me that message, I wouldn't have came there. I had already applied for another company. Now, here's the irony. Here's the fucking irony of that shit. Okay, so for that, I was the company. I ain't gonna put their name out there because again, motherfuckers is trying to sue me from left to fucking right. Okay, I had a fucking bill collector literally put in a case, a DC case. They're suing me. Like, really, really? Like, I didn't even get nothing yet. It got to be coming. Maybe it is. Hey, maybe it is. I got to check my ticket, okay? Maybe I do. Maybe they feel it. They like, this, she got it. We know she got some money somewhere. Tell me where it's at, okay? Please tell me where it's at. Because I'm tired of taking a bus, okay? My legs hurt from walking to the damn bus stops, walking up these stairs. I just want to go to my gym. I just want to be in a space that is more bigger where I could just, because sometimes I feel, sometimes I don't give a fuck. This is definitely a not give a fuck moment. But other times I'm very conscious of the fact that these fucking walls is thin as shit. And I'll just be like, I don't even want it to really just be me because, I want to be quiet because I don't know. I don't know what's on people's minds and shit, even though I do know, because that's another thing. But I ain't gonna talk about that. I ain't gonna talk about all of that, okay? I'm gonna just continue to do. It's gonna go beyond. It's gonna go beyond. What you call it? I can't. So here's the thing of how this camera shit is situated. I'm not using a ring light. I'm using the flashlight from my telephone because I don't know. Is it because I didn't? Well, here is why. I didn't feel like getting up. I already got up to get the tablet, okay? And so I don't really know where the little hole is at on the tablet. I assume that it's over the red recording part that's like right here. You can't see it. But as I'm pointing, it's like my finger is like touching it right now. From what I can see, it's a tablet, it's recording, it's telling me how many minutes it's recording, and I'm hoping that the camera is in that vicinity. But, so if it looks like my eyes are wandering, they are. Cause it's not a camera where the lens is this big. It's the camera of a freaking tablet. It's a dot. I can't see the dot in the dark. The dot is in the middle of the black part of the damn tablet. So hey, you see my eyes going, whatever. Just listen to the words, okay? You're lucky that I put on this goddamn on flashlight that's like bright as fuck, just so that you can have a visual, okay? But anyway, so that was that experience. You're gonna see it. You're gonna see all of Friday, okay? This was supposed to be an update, but it got longer because more had to come out, and that's a whole nother topic and discussion for a later date. But I have to if I'm flowing with divinity, I gotta flow with divinity. I can't limit it. It's an unlimited source of power. Like, if I'm like, okay, God, flow through me. I'm here at surrendering to God's will, and not the pseudo God that man has created and put into a book. but the actual divinity that is literally flowing through life and is a part of us, like I gotta just go with it. So that's how this got to be this long. All right. There were parts that just needed to be expressed and shared because there's motherfuckers who do want to hear the shit, and they're the people that subscribe to my damn YouTube channel. Point blank. As I carry on. um. So uh Friday. That's my experience at that office. I had already applied to another company week prior. Already took state exams and all type of shit, right? And so anyway, I am on my way to do my class, and I know I got to do my class with. I need the computer. This is through Zoom. It's a remote class, you know. So I'm like, okay, I want to sit outside. You know, I've been doing the class in this amazing park in West Orange the whole week, Monday through Thursday. Well, Tuesday through Thursday. Monday, I did the class at the library, at the local library. Tuesday though, I did it outside. Wednesday, I did it outside. Thursday, I did it outside. I was like, oh, Thursday, Thursday, the way Thursday was beautiful. Thursday was a whole thing, like a whole magically delicious thing for me. Thursday, because I walked in the park and the wind just was like, shh, and the leaves was cascading down like a fucking like confetti. I promise you, I'm not exaggerating. And I went and I did my content. I sat on the little boulder that I'll be sitting on. The babies were greeting me, the puppies, some of the old people, some of the young people, mostly the white people. Like they're happy. Like some the ones that are healthy, and I didn't want to use color or culture, you know. And even though inferior might sound offensive, it's not for me to be offensive. It's just me to be accurate and just use the accuracy in this context. It's probably not going to be something that I ever use after, unless there's an adverse situation. But it's probably not something I'm going to use on the regular, because the truth is that there are plenty, plenty people that, just like the cats are living their happy best lives, they're living their happy best lives, like they recognize, and they are okay. They are okay with being their natural selves. They're okay with the fact that we are naturally superior. They don't feel threatened by it. They don't feel like um they don't feel that way, because they're content with being who they are, and they're operating from love, so they can recognize it. You recognize what's within you. You understand what I mean? So they recognize it, and they like, I had this lady, you can see, the content is there for you to see. I didn't show her because I wasn't recording when she embraced me. I was just being there. But she seen me, she complimented me, she asked for an embrace. I gave her an embrace, and it was an authentic embrace. And I discussed it in another episode. I was like, you know, I'm just sitting there, and this lady's like, can I have a hug? And she gave me a real good hug. And matter of fact, after she gave me that real good hug, and it was more than a good hug, okay? It was an energy exchange, okay? Because directly after that is when the song came, and I was like, I didn't write it. No, I did. I recorded it, part of it in the hook. Well, the hook part in my notes. And then the melody came, and I was like, oh, I gotta record the melody. And you see that. I had my red turban on, and that's what was happening then. That's the result. That is the magic of love. That's why I love and I love and I love and I love. And I had such an opportunity yesterday at work to be loving. We gonna get to that part though. So I had to get to Wi-Fi. So that's what I did. I got to Wi-Fi. I decided to go to Hudson Yards, and I found the quiet spot, and I did my Zoom. But I also was pulled in the direction of another company. This is my next company. Oh, I would say my new company. I got pulled in the direction of my new company. I prefer corporate security. Okay, I prefer it. I feel like I'm my best in that type of position. You know, I'm not just there to collect a paycheck. Remember, I'm there to make connections. And so that I went with how my spirit led me. I found another company outside of the first one that I had applied to last week and outside of my old one. Okay. So while I was doing my class, which was as a live class, um, I shout out to Markel. He's the instructor of the class. As I was doing the class, I was a little bit distracted, partially because I knew that this was, even though it was a class, it also was not a sales pitch, but just information. He was very upfront that Friday was going to be, even though it was going to be class, also it's going to be information on how to work more closely with him, right, in a group. So I knew that, I knew that. I appreciated the fact that he was upfront about it at the top of the week. He gave us so much, so much, so freaking much. And I'm working with them. I already decided that, I wanted to work more, but, he has a team. I had already said his name. So I ain't gonna say no more. You know how I feel. Now I feel about just nature. And so on his team, there are, a mixture of individuals and, you know, um, I get it. I ain't going nowhere. I'm put it like that. Um, I ain't going nowhere unless our alignments do not harmonize. But from what I had gathered, because I have ears to hear and eyes to see, him, his family, his friends, his close circle of people are in direct alignment in the way that I think. And they have just had the opportunity to build the network already. They've already built the network. They already do the work. They're already living the lifestyle that I am building. So they're already in position to help, individuals who are not there. So I like it. I like how they align with principles and they stand on those principles because that's how I live my life. So it's good to actually have an instructor, that's like that. So anyway, um, so I'm in Hudson Yards and I'm filling out for this other company and I'm like, yeah. And I go in all of that content is being on this channel. You're going to see all of that content on this channel. But I wanted to do the update while it was fresh on my mind because I got a lot. I created so much content in Hudson Yards because the class is only 2 hours. And then while I was applying for the position that I want for the weekends, um, my phone conked out on me. So I started moving. You know what I mean? And first, was trying to find a socket. I couldn't find a socket. I'm like, oh my God, Hudson Yards, how can you have all of this stuff and have no charging stations? But it's because 9 out of 10 people got them little battery banks, and I gotta invest in one of the battery banks. That's it. It's a simple solution, but I just haven't because it hasn't been a priority. But Friday definitely made it like, oh no, 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 because you want to be just prepared. So I'm like, okay, cool. I got to get a battery pack. Noted, getting one, So anyway, I end up at the mall. And if initially I'm like, I don't want to go to the mall. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really a mall girl. I like, not that I don't like malls. It's just right now, the way my mind is focused, you know, I want to know how to put my cafe in the mall. And for me to have my cafe in the mall, I got to get the capital together. So my mind is on that, you know, and my mind comes from a business aspect. Like I'm there watching the people. And the people are just so happy to spend their money. And I'm just like, I got a service for you. Matcha madness, have a clue. Get something good for your body and your mind and your spirit. That's what you gonna experience. That's our cameo. I'm joking. I'm gonna get professionals to do this, and everything is to the T. 432 hertz frequency, like beautiful singer, everything, colors, everything. We gonna use the good, that we gonna use the knowledge for good. Period. So anyway, I'm there in Hudson. Yeah, I go to the mall, which is where I needed to be because I'm working on a certain aspect of the business currently, and the certain aspect that I'm working on the business currently has propelled me divinely in a certain direction. And I needed to be right there because I needed to know where my clients were at, and that's where they are. So I was like, okay, thank you, God, thank you. So it gets better, and I show all of that. So you'll see that. Just stay tuned. They're going to be little shorts because I basically use my tablet to do all of the content of Friday. So I had like maybe 4 hours of sleep Thursday. Woke up Friday, got up, did my prayers, did my meditation, did my stretches, had no coffee, okay? Had no breakfast, and just went. That's how that God time be. That's how that angel time be, okay? That shit is different, okay? So I went. My energy's up. I'm feeling good. I found some freaking tomatoes at a farmer's market not far from my old company that I used to work for. Um, so I grabbed those, and I even had to double back. You'll see that because I was doing some content creation, and I realized, shit, I walked past the place. I gotta double back. I double back for this shit. People, and you will hear people, sometimes throughout my content creation, like they appreciate the vibes. They always appreciate. They're like, oh, you got such good energy. Oh, I love it. That is a regular compliment that I get. Now sometimes people describe it differently, but that is predominantly what I get. Even at my gym, this lady was like, "You're so cute." And she was like, "What I mean by that is your energy." And I was like, "Mommy, I know what you meant. I know you is definitely not talking about my aesthetics right now. Cause do you see this hair?" Like I see it because I finally am able to stand in front of a full mirror. Oh God. I love it though. Honestly, I love it. And it's a possibility that I don't shave it off because the growth within this last fucking month, is it a month when I did it, is crazy. Like the growth has me in, I mean, the growth has me still wanting to cut it because I'm like, oh, this shit's growing just ultra fast. But then I'm like, but do I want to start from the beginning where I could just fix, what it is? And just keep on fixing it bit by bit till it gets to exactly where I want it to be at. And then when it gets there, I ain't like a regrowth. It's like, the growth from the very beginning. So I don't know. Because look at this one. I don't know if you guys can see because the lighting is a little, you can't really see it. There's the lighting, how the lighting is. But the bottom line is that it's growing. And even though I know the weird stage is part of the process, my weird stage and my dread of my locks is different. Like, this is the second time I've been wanting to cut it off. But anyway, so the point is I knew she was not talking about like physical because I'm like, yeah, the physical is, it's skill, but it's definitely under construction and not a Dr. Miami construction. I got it's just a reflection of what I have acquired for inner wisdom and love, being mindful what I eat, exercising, moving, utilizing these tools to work. Oh shit, this shit is holding up the camera. I didn't realize this shit was holding up the camera, but utilizing tools, right? Like my massage guns to work through the myofascial tissues and break up the adhesions that are in my muscles. Taking the proper collagen, I want to do the liquid collagen. I know the liquid collagen is going to be work better with my body and get the muscles back where they need to be at. So anyway, and then I just discovered that I could jog in the pool. And man, when you see those people jogging and they look really happy, they are really happy. I'm not talking about the people that don't look happy, okay? Some people jogging, they look like they struggling, right? They might be in the beginning of their jogging journey. But the people that's been jogging for years on a daily basis, they look so happy. They're just like, arms is going, legs is going. And you're like, oh, they are fucking fit as fuck. And they might have some music in their ear and shit. And as they're jogging and they peek and see you, they shoot you a real smile like, have a great day. And I just admire joggers. And maybe it's the track star in me from when I was younger, but I like running. I always have. So to be at the age I am now and be getting back in touch with running is like, that was a very highlight of that particular day. And I'll be back next week with a full membership, and I'll be getting my ass on this until I'm driving. Oh, I'm happy. I'm happy to be back at my gym on my annual anniversary, and I hope there's no more breaks. So anyway, um where was I talking about? Okay, Hudson Yards. So I'm in the mall and I'm like, monitoring while I'm charging my phone, and I'm doing content. So I do a little bit of content there, and then I decide, well, when I step, no, actually, this is what happened. So you'll see in the beginning how it's really cloudy, and I'm like, I'm not staying out here. I need to go back to the park. The fuck is this shit? That's how I was feeling. That was the underlining outside of the content creation, like outside of the good vibes of like, okay, yes, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, but I want to go back to the park. I want to stick my feet in the dirt. That helps me, and I like it, and I want to do it, right? So I'm gonna take care of my business because I'm a responsible adult, and then I'm going back to the park. But what happened was I ended up at the freaking this is the flow. This is the divine. You don't know. You literally don't know. You know that it's gonna be good. You know that it's all for you. You know that you're gonna be pleasantly surprised, but you just don't know how the surprises is coming. You can't even think of it. You try to think of how the surprise is gonna come, and you just have no clue how it's gonna come, how it's gonna manifest. When you surrender to the divine, you just don't know. Then you'll get clues and you'll know it's a divine because it'll be so pertinent. Like you'll just know it. You just like, you won't be, oh, well, maybe. No. This is what it is. This is what I have for you, and it's gonna be amazing. So just do it. And you're like, huh? And I love the way Michael Beckwith has expressed, some of his experiences. And I'm so glad that he expressed his experience because it just further confirms where I am on my journey. But he says it's like you can't even help it. Like you don't like for agape, right? He was getting nudged to do agape for a little minute. And he admits that he was resistive. Like he was like, nah, I ain't doing that. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. But the divine kept nudging him, and it got to the point where the divine was like, listen, you gotta do this. Because if you don't do this, I don't think it didn't hit him like that. That's my interpretation. His interpretation is that he was resistive, right? And when he stopped resisting, he did not know how in the world he was going to make something or be a part of something or be a part of something so big, so grand. His mind couldn't wrap around the details of how it was going to unfold, but the divine pushed him and told him, "You don't gotta worry. All you gotta do is surrender. We are doing the work. The divine is what's doing the work. The person is not doing the work. The person is just allowing themselves to be the vessel that the divine works through, because we all have free will. So we could allow the divine to move us through life, or we could will our way through life. You know, the divine works better. And if you align your will with the divine will, man, you got heaven. You got motherfucking heaven right on earth. And that's what we here to do anyway, right? Anchor heaven on earth. Uh, I don't think that content that I was trying to post today is gonna get posted, because I'm feeling myself getting sleepy again, which is good. Because let me continue this update. So now I'm leaving the mall. When I leave the mall, I got a little charge on my phone. I initially thought that I was going to leave the mall and come to the Garden State and come to the park, right? No, that's not what happened. What happened is that I'm walking, and it looks like I could like see the water up close, right? So I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna walk to the water, like to the pier. It is over there by like Jacob Javits Center. Hudson Yards not too far from that, right? So, and plus they have this monumental thing that they created, and I want to take a picture of that, you know. So I'm like, well, let me get some footage and some content, you know. And people love New York City, so this will be good to put, you know, as part of my content. So I go, and while right when I'm doing the content, guess what I see? Guess what the fuck I see? And I'm a stickler for architecture. But what I see is more than architecture. I see a pathway, a earth pathway in the midst of all this grand infrastructure. And of course they incorporate plants everywhere. That's not by mistake, people. That's not by mistake at all. Okay, but most of the time you can't really get close to the plants. Like they have these structures that kind of the plants are there. Of course, you're breathing the oxygen, but you know, as far as trying to hug a tree, ain't really having that. You know what I mean? Unless it's unless the tree is you're able to reach it, but most of the time you're not. They have lights and all this other stuff, and yada yada, blah blah blah. But this portion down in the Hudson Yards area is a pathway of earth. When I say a pathway of earth, it's exactly what I'm describing it as. It is the dirt. It's right off of the concrete. It's a pathway, and it's two of them. So when I discovered that, like my earthing people, I wouldn't say it has gotten out of hand, but what I will say about my earthing is that when I see the opportunity to do it, I do it. And it has happened in awkward places. And some people might think that that's an awkward place, but I just don't care. I don't care. And I'm discreet about it. Hey, the only way you're gonna know that I'm earthing is if you be nosy and look at my feet. And I'm talking about it. And I'm laughing because Hudson Yards is like a tourist site. So there was a whole bunch of tourists around as I'm doing my content creation. They're taking pictures. You have some other content creators doing their thing. And I'm doing my content creation with my tablet sitting on, you can see the footage, sitting on like a platform, right? And my feet in the earth, on the earth, rather, on the earth. So, yeah, and they're like they don't say nothing. They don't care. People, a lot of people, more people are aware about earthing than you think. You know what I mean? I used to be a little uncomfortable, like worried about what people would think, what people would say. I even did some earthing over here, and they funny. I don't know why. That's a program. That's a program to feel funny about the earth. I don't want to get my feet dirty. What? And there's good soil. When I tell you good soil over here, there's some good ass soil over here where I'm at. Like if there was to plant a garden, to clean that shit up back there and plant a garden, that shit would grow so fucking healthy. That shit is healthy as fuck. So I did do some earthing there not too long ago because I didn't want to go to the park. The park was like too far, but I knew I needed to do some earthing. I knew I needed to do some grounding. And I was like, I'm gonna sit out in the back for 15 minutes. And it felt a little awkward because people be watching me, listening to me, all type of weird shit. But I have to get beyond that. You know what I mean? And I don't mind. Like, I really don't mind the speculation. The speculation is not what bothers me. It's the thoughts that come with the speculation. That's what's a little I'm working on not being bothered by those. You know what I mean? I don't even know why I have access to that, God. Like, God, why do I have access to that? But I do. I do. I do. I do. But anyway, so I walk through the path, I charge up, and I find another path, and then I find a Starbucks. And I'm like, I haven't had coffee all day. I'm about to have me some coffee. As soon as I walk into Starbucks, and I was going to take care of some business. So I had placed a business call before I made it to Starbucks. I get to Starbucks, I get the call back. I have to step outside of Starbucks. The Starbucks is jamming. They got the music on, they got the AC on. I'm like, okay, I step outside, I take the call, I finish the call, I go back into Starbucks. I doubled back into Starbucks 3 times. Because I was like, let me check my card, because stuff been popping up on stuff. I don't even know where it's been coming from. God. God, I'm telling you, I promise you, funds be popping out of nowhere. So I'm like, let me call to see if something popped up. So I call it. It sounds like the music is playing. It sounds like it says you have $40.99. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, let me go to the ATM. So I go to the ATM, and the ATM's like insufficient funds. I'm like, wait a minute. I just checked in and said I got $40.99. What do you mean I got insufficient funds? So now that is quiet, I'm like, let me call it back. So I call it back. And when I call it back, it's like, you have $3.99. And I'm like, oh, 43. Okay, all right. It's similar. I could see how I accidentally heard that. So let me go back. I cannot get a macchiato. I can only get like a regular cup of house blend. Or Pike's Place, whatever they're brewing for the regular coffee. But I hadn't been to Starbucks in a while. I don't know if it's just that particular Starbucks over there, baby, but that coffee sent me somewhere else. And me being me, it was like maybe 2 o'clock by this time, going on 3, and I was like, no, it was like 2. It was more so 2, because I did like an hour of content creating, which I'm posting all of that stuff. This is the update, so this is gonna be the thing you see after, kind of explaining all of the parts of that day, you know, and beyond, obviously, because I went not just talking about Friday, but also connecting different dots and sharing different thoughts that are very relevant. These are very relevant to what's just happening right now, and just my experience in this particular energy that everybody's experiencing, and just me being me. So anyway, I come out of Starbucks, I'm enjoying the coffee. It's good. Like, it's so good. And I'm like, oh man, Duncan, can't fuck with you like that. Like, I love coming in. I love the fact that you owned by a black lady. I love I love that. I love that. I love the fact that you own by a black lady, so I will come and visit every now and then. I love the fact that, it's like a safe haven, basically, so to speak, There's another elderly lady that comes in there, and she's proper, you know what I mean? And proper is not why, I don't even know why I said she proper. She's just a beautiful light. There's a lot of other things because um I ain't gonna put it out there, but men be just being men, Sometimes they try and see if they can try you, and then when you let them know, hell no, you don't have to have an attitude, as a boundary. You just hell no, and keep it pushing forward. That's it. So that had crossed my mind. That's why proper came out of my mouth because that person was not being proper. He was out of order. But anyway, the point is we focusing on the good parts. The good parts is it's a black lady on it. It's in a black neighborhood, and there it's a meeting spot for just black excellence. They're not like the sister circle, okay? And West Orange, don't get it twisted. They're a little ghetto, you know what I mean? But the love is there. The love is certainly there. And that's, again, that principle. Love is that principle that everything what don't matter whether it's natural, unnatural, ghetto, unghetto. If there's love there, you're winning. Period. 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 Point blank. So anyway, though, the flavor of that coffee, and I was talking to the girl, and it was an awkward moment. We had an awkward moment because it was a melanated girl, superior, right? And so I'm like, girl, this is my first cup of coffee. And she's like, really? I know she works there. She drinks it all the time, but yeah. I was like, yes, girl. I'm just energized off of pure sunlight. It was an awkward thing because I don't care about it. And it was predominantly inferior people around, but it's like, hey, I'm not upset that the sun does that to you. You should not be upset because I know that the sun does different to me because it's benefiting us all anyway. Like we're still all on the planet anyway. So anyway, she wasn't with it. It's like she was suppressing. You can tell when a superior person is suppressing their excellence, their natural excellence. As you could tell, she was suppressing her natural essence. But I had to come back. So after those 3 times, the first 2 times I didn't make a purchase. Third time I made the purchase. Now I'm outside. There's no chairs anywhere. So instead of me sitting on a chair, there's like a steel table that's meant for people in a wheelchair. I plop up on that steel table. I enjoy my coffee. I do some content. I stay there until I decide to explore some more. And when I explore some more, you're going to see that content. I watched rugby for the very first time and I liked it. Okay, on a lounge chair if I would have known how the day was going to progress, that impulse to take that nap, I would have took it. Okay, but I didn't take it because I was just like the only um, brown person that was lounging. Every other brown person was like in a hustle or bustle on a lunch, leaving work, getting off the first shift. But I was like the only one that was just relaxing in the moment and enjoying the moment and enjoying rugby. Rugby is like football. I never knew rugby was like football. And honestly, I like rugby better than football. Rugby, they don't have on no equipment. They got a similar ball. They got the goal thing that they got to kick the ball through. But I want to say my favorite part in rugby, outside of not having a bunch of padding and all of that stuff, is that um, they get into this huddle and I don't know what else to call it but a huddle because I've been exposed to American football, of course. But in rugby, they very well might have another title for it. But they get together and they like lock arms. And you just see these men all locked arm together. Yo, it's amazing. It's my favorite part. I was trying to catch it, but I didn't catch it. I didn't freaking catch it. This light is bright, and I feel myself drifting as I'm speaking back to La La Land. But let me tell you today. So I keep saying 8 o'clock because you need to understand that that's when I was out the door. I was out the door at 8 a.m. Friday. Okay, now it's about like 4. You know, I'm on this lounge chair. My body's like, take a nap, bitch. I'm eating the tomatoes. You see me eating the tomatoes. They're good as tomatoes. I wish I would have got two of them, right? I might have to go back just to get some more. But anyway, I'm eating these tomatoes. I'm doing content, and then I'm just like, you know what? Let me get to the house because I've been out all day, and I want to do something tomorrow. So I'm like, hey, maybe Uber will do me a solid, and send me a complimentary driver. And what a complimentary driver is basically for Uber is that Uber pays the driver for the trip, and then I pay Uber back. That's how that works, right? So anyway, um, I call it. My phone is now about to go down again because I've been outside all this time. I never got a full charge. I only got like maybe 50% while I was at the mall. So now, I'm like, I had enough to order the Uber. They send me the complimentary Uber. I'm like, yes. But now it's like 5 o'clock. It's rush hour. It's smack dab, right? So I go back into Starbucks. And when I go back to Starbucks, it's for me to plug up my phone, which is not working. And I'm like, oh, shoot. This Uber driver is about to come. My phone is off. I don't even know what he looks like. But I did know because I had looked at the car really, really quick before the phone had died. And I had remembered it. So it came and I was like, got in a Uber, rushed. Like I had rushed out of, and let me tell you, I didn't really rush. This is what happened. I knew it was a red Toyota coming, right? So, um, even though I'm trying to like charge the phone, I get a little bit distracted. And while I'm minding my business, somebody is just looking at me throughout the window. And I don't know whether I just cracked a smile or what, but all I know is like after that interaction, they threw some funny energy at me, and I just kind of like turned my back to them, and then I walked off to another socket to plug my phone into. So neither one of the sockets were working, and that's when I realized, oh, it's not the socket itself, it's the freaking phone base. So anyway, the Uber is there. I see the Uber pulling up because I could see it out through the window. So I just hurry up and go to the Uber. And I'm happy. I'm talking about all the content I've been creating, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. He's from Egypt. And I'm like, ooh, I'm interested in Egypt culture. Tell me more. Da, 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 da. He's telling me about the cuisine. He's telling me about the state. I didn't even know that Egypt had states. I'm like, Egypt has states? I didn't know that. So, I'll go through all of that, learning about this different culture, and we get through the tunnel. Okay, we are on the 280 or approaching the 280, and I realize I don't have my tablet. So guess who got to double back to New York City? Me. And I'm like, because of how I'm plugged in to the divinity, I'm like, oh, the city wanted me to come back. They needed me to do some more grounding over there. Not necessarily me grounding me, but me holding that space and grounding the good energy and good vibes. So I'm doing that. I call them first, make sure, you know what I mean? They're like, yep, we got it. I go back and I'm like, shoot, I might as well get a refill of this good old coffee. They don't give me a refill. They give me a whole they give me a whole cup. Like the brother gives me a whole cup. And not a grande, a venti. He gives me a venti cup of coffee for free. I get my tablet and I get to witness a young lady who is all in her black girl magic and she's not saying nothing. Again, it's a vibe. But just how she's moving, how she's speaking, you got no choice but to see it and recognize it once you know. So I had to compliment her on it and be like, girl, your energy is popping. Go ahead. She's like, yeah, you feel good. You feel good when you are working on your mindset, whether it's affirmations, whether it's prayer. You just feel good when you doing the work. You feel good. You feel good from the results of doing the work. When somebody else, a random person, recognizes it, it's the best compliment ever. Like getting complimented on your energy is better than getting complimented on something superficial. Because that's from within. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's worth it. It's so worth it. I encourage all of my followers and listeners to definitely find a spiritual practice that works for you and do it on a daily basis, just every day, every day. And that's going to change. So don't feel like because you found one thing and that's working for you best, but now something else is calling to you, explore. Explore and try different practices and know that they may change from time to time. That's okay. That's normal. That's cool. So, anyway, um, it takes about 3 hours because we're in rush hour. So we got to go back through the Lincoln. Then we got to come back. Yeah, it was a lot. So, but we talked the whole time, and I'm like, oh my God, he drives excellent. And I'm like, if I was rich, I would definitely hire you to be my driver because you're excellent. And he's like, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And so I get in. Now it's like 7 o'clock. And so that's already, if you do the math, I was up from 7. So that's already 12 hours. 12 hours, I was up, no nap, right? So, I don't necessarily like outside bathrooms. So I had held my urine. Now I'm on the toilet. And, I got my phone, whatever. Most people, if they're, women, they sit down. They take their devices with them. Don't act like y'all don't. Maybe some of y'all don't, but I'm one who do. Because I'm trying to check emails and multitask and all of that stuff, you know. So just being more time efficient. So I freaking am doing something on the phone and it rings. So I pick it up or whatever, and they're like, can you cover a shift tonight? I'm like, what? So here's the irony. My last position for the old company that I worked for, the location was 20th Street and 5th Avenue. All right. This other company that I applied for last week that called me to do the cover, guess where they're located? 20th and 6th Avenue. So I was like, oh, I remember this place. And oh, they had such good energy. And I was just like, yes, 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 yes. I get to work there. So I was like, I just left from the city. She was like, oh, girl, I understand. I was like, no, 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 no. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm just letting you know because I'm just letting you know, you know. She's like, okay, okay. So I get there. The shift was from 10 to 4 in the freaking morning. I'm so happy my travels there because I'm like, ooh, can't stop God, can't stop God, can't stop God, because that's what it seemed like to me. Sister randomly contacts me and lets me know that that position where I used to be is open, and I'm just and I, and even though that company didn't want to provide it, I still got to be in that dynamic energy. So I'm like, okay, okay, God, I see, I see. All I have to do is be willing and surrender, and the best is gonna flow and come through, and that's for everybody. That's literally for everybody. That's not just for me. That applies to everybody. That's a universal, you know, thing. So, long story short, I did that. Like, I took public transportation back into New York, so now I didn't triple back. I didn't triple back to Manhattan. And I do the shift. And then after I do the shift, I get an impulse that's like, go to your PO box. So I go, I do some earthing, I do some affirmations, I do all of that before I get there. And I get there, it's like 6 o'clock in the freaking morning, and they don't open until 7. So I'm like, whoa, gosh, what am I gonna do? So I went and I got some salad. I got some beet juice. I have the beet juice right here. I'm gonna drink some more of it before I go back to sleep. Let me get it. Oh, so you can see that because it's like literally right here off its reach. 100% juice. It has beet, carrot. What else is in it? Anyway, I just put a whole bunch of good food in my stomach. I eat a whole salad, super greens. I drank most of this. I drank some coconut water, but of course, my body is still tired like a motherfucker. Like, bitch. 7 o'clock. That's 24 freaking hours. Okay. And what did I eat? I didn't. I want to say that I didn't. I fasted. I didn't even fast on purpose. I had coffee. I had the small cup of coffee, the venti cup of coffee, and I ate nothing while I worked. I drank water, and yeah, I didn't eat until like 6:45 this morning. Well, now Saturday morning, but I didn't eat until like 6:45 Saturday morning. Okay, and I went and checked my mail, and what I was looking for wasn't there. What I found was that silly letter, I think. Yeah, silly letter from the passport people. And I'm just like, whatever. I got something for them. And once I hit them with it, they gonna sit their ass down and mail me my damn passport and put some motherfucking respect on my name. And I don't know where this fucking receipt came from. It says universal processing. I don't remember going. This is from the ATM. It was inside of my it was inside of my thing. Inside of my tablet, but I don't recognize it. 212 universal processing. It's weird. There's a receipt in there that I don't recognize that looks it's kind of worn, so it looks a little old. This is a MasterCard debit. Yeah, that's not my card. That's weird. Maybe somebody had picked it up and was trying to keep it, and they, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Especially because I told them I was coming back for it, and it took me an hour to get back because I was already a distance, you know. So anyway, um, it was a long. I didn't get it until 10 o'clock in the morning, and at first I thought I was not gonna have the energy to take a good bath because that shift I stood most of the 6 hours, and it was at a nightclub. You imagine me at a nightclub? Oh my God, can you see me still? You can't even see me. I was at a nightclub. Yep, I was doing security at a nightclub last night, and I had a good time. I just am exhausted, as a result. So I'm listening to my body and recuperating. But yeah, it was interesting. It was very, very interesting. But that's the update. So now this is Saturday night. We're all still in this dynamic energy. I'm going to pass on what I got because possibly the people who watch me don't watch that other individual that does this content. And I feel in my spirit that is valid. So cutting cords, focusing on what you want, business wise, relationship wise, and what was the third thing? Cutting cords, focusing on what you do want, and I guess taking action. I think, you know. So for me, what that looks like is me not being concerned with any challenges of the past. Staying focused on my business and my productions that I'm doing, the content creation that I'm doing, and actually taking the action of uploading it and continue to stay consistent as I have been, you know? So that's my three. Your three may be different, and that's just only in business. I have, I guess, more stuff to do when it comes to romance and family and things of that sort, but you get it. Like, it's good energy to cut loose the things that are not serving you, focus on the things that are going to serve the best of you, and take action that's supporting what's best for you. And that's it. Like, that's your main focus. What's best for you, no matter where you are. Because you could be like, oh, what's best for me is to be a millionaire. But right now, you're not even a thousandaire. That's okay. Don't focus on where you are. Focus on where you are heading. Focus on the direction that you're going in and see what that goal is going to look like when it's in fruition already. You know, so that's what I'll share. And I had no idea that the update was going to be 3 hours long, but hey, again, when you're in the flow, you just don't know. When you're on God time, you just be on God time. It's different, you know. It is different, but it's the best time to be on. So with that being said, thank you for tuning into the SupaTea podcast show. Make sure you click on the links in the bio. If you watch this thing for 3 hours, oh man, I appreciate you. And I really, really hope that there was some value received from you deciding to take 3 hours to watch, you know, my channel. That's amazing. That's really amazing to me and humbling, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for your time. Know that your time is appreciated. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. Also, there's going to be content coming on a daily basis. Only reason why I don't think Friday I posted anything because now you know. Um, I wasn't still enough. When I came in and I used the bathroom and I got the phone call from from another company that wanted me to do a shift last night that was on the same block as the first company's site. Man, that was some synchronicity right there. That's all I can say. That was some synchronicity. And it is what it is. You know. Um, I'm half asleep, so I'm just gonna end this now. Make sure you click the links in the bio. Oh, thank you for tuning in. You can't even see me no more. Yeah.